This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John Hyde and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
On Monday's show, we talked about the fact that Steve Langford wouldn't come into the studio in the morning and whether this was going to affect his reputation and his credibility and whether it made him a hypocrite or not. Here's how it went.
I want to start with what happened with George, and I guess Richard wanted him to officiate. Is that the right word? Officiate the
Yeah, that would be about right.
And I guess he told Will this, and Will had told Howard, but it was news to George.
Right.
And George is such a sweet guy. Just he would do anything for anybody here. He is one of the family. But Howard wasn't too pleased about that coming up, although Richard and George do have a personal relationship. But that bled over to what happened with Steve Langford, where I guess his daughter interviewed George for some kind of project. And Howard drew the line. He's like, I don't want people bothering the guests. And where was he going with that, one, Gary? And two, why didn't Steve Langford come in and defend himself?
Well, the first part, Howard has always said, I don't want people bothering the guests, and it doesn't matter how high or low you are on the food chain. You know, I remember the first, like, Howard used to say, I don't want people taking pictures with the guests. I want guests to be able to come up here and not be asked for autograph, not be asked for pictures. And then there was a weird thing going on where Jackie would have the day's guest autograph one of Jackie's jokes, and we put a stop to that. And then it was, everything from, Grillo calling Sherry Lansing looking to get acting work to, John talking to stockbrokers, and Howard's just like, leave my people alone. So, I mean, that's sort of the rule. Don't bother people who are on the show and ask them for favors.
But sometimes I guess you cultivate personal relationships with the people who are on the show. And Howard could look at it and say, everybody you basically talk to, you specifically, Gary, is as a result of him.
Like everything on the show, because people call and complain all the time, there's hard and fast rules, except there's different rules for everybody on the show. So I'm sure there's more latitude for Robin being friendly with a guest outside the show than there would be for, say, Jason. But as a general rule, Howard doesn't like the guests being bothered. Howard feels everything's a bother. So he feels like when you ask somebody something that it's a bother to them. And listen, it's his show. It's totally his prerogative. And maybe it is a bother. Like maybe George is too nice a guy to say, I really don't want to do that.
Do you think Steve made a mistake not coming in today?
Huge, huge tactical error on Steve's part.
Why is that?
Because he paints everybody into a corner and explains to you why they have to answer his questions. Steve should have come in and just sort of said, hey, I agree with you, I made a mistake, or I disagree with you, and here's my argument. But how is what Howard was saying about Steve Langford any different than the argument between Steve Brandano, Steve the intern for the purposes of this, so everyone remembers. Remember Steve Brandano went to an event and his girlfriend at the time was there and he said he didn't want her interviewed.
That's right.
And Langford goes, it's part of the story. What's the difference?
And, well, another thing about that, Howard wasn't looking to talk to Steve's daughter or family. He wanted to talk to Steve. And I guess when family comes up, all of a sudden you want to sort of change things.
What happens is when you have a big sensitivity to it, it's at that moment you have to decide whether you're going to go in or not, and then you sort of dig in and hold your ground. And Steve's got to come in sooner or later.
How did he react when you went back to get him?
I called Steve. Jason called Brad. And he said, yeah, Steve's here. So I said on the microphone, Steve will be here any minute. And then all of a sudden I noticed it's a 30-second walk over here. So a minute and a half went by and I said, something's wrong. So I got up out of my chair and I walked over there and I said to Brad, what's going on? He goes, he's not coming in. And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it because it's just not Langford. So I walked over and Langford put up his hand and he said, listen, his daughters are off limits. My daughter's off limits. And I was like, but Steve, and he's just like, he didn't want to hear it. So I just came back and reported it because I figured I'll let Howard handle it tomorrow.
Well, like you said, eventually he's coming in anyway. So now, I mean, does it make him a hypocrite?
Yeah, I think it does. I really do. I like the guy. I can like a guy. And I think his news stories are amazing. But yeah, it's a hypocritical of him not to show up today on this count.
Rich in Pennsylvania, welcome to the Wrap-Up Show.
Hi, guys. Hey, I want to talk about Langford. Gary, I think you're right. He's lost all credibility. Now when he comes in, what he did to Jenks, painting him into the corner, all Jenks has to do, all any of you all have to do from now on is say, let's talk about your daughter interviewing George. And he's got no credibility, none whatsoever anymore. He just wussed out like a big puss.
I want to know how old he is. I want to see his birth certificate.
I don't care how old he is. He acted like a 4-year-old. Oh, you can't talk about that. He talks about everybody else's problems. Even after they tell him not to, he'll go right in after it. So
I think it's going to end up being one of those things where he even now, if he's listening to this, he probably thinks to himself, you know what, I should have just gone in and dealt with it because it's just gotten bigger than it has to be.
Well, you know, guys, when he starts, it's going to happen. He's going to bust somebody's balls on something, and it's going to come before Howard, him, and whoever. And I can just hear it. I can hear it's almost like you can write the dialogue. He's going to be busting on you. Hey, let's talk about George, your daughter, in the interview. I can hear it coming.
I don't think Howard's going to press him too much about it tomorrow, but you're right that other people probably will.
Well, it's a guy who seems Teflon that's now exposed a sensitivity, and when people want to fight, that's what you go for.
And maybe he was hoping that, okay, I'll sit back, Howard will blast me on the air right now, a day passes, it blows over, it's not as big of a deal, Howard's ready to move on to the next thing, so the damage is a lot less.
Or he'll get rid of his daughter.
Well, that's not going to happen, but I do think, I forgot which one of you guys said it, though, a lot of people are going to definitely keep this bullet and wait,
right,
and they're going to use it when they get the chance. Thanks for calling in there, Rich. Eddie in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show. Hey, Eddie.
Yes, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello, yes. I just want to voice some support for Steve Langford. I think Howard should have called him aside after the show and found out the whole deal with family. I agree with Steve. If Howard's kids are off limits, so is Langford's daughter till he knows exactly the circumstances.
But we know what the deal is. There's nothing special in there, and we weren't going to talk about. Howard wasn't going to ask him anything about his kid except to say to Steve. In other words, without going into Steve's family life, I'm pretty sure his daughter didn't say, "Oh, I'm a huge George Takei fan. Let me interview him for my school project." So Howard probably would have explored how did that come up and why were you getting involved in it. And that has nothing to do with his daughter.
I just think, to me, it's just the father doing something he could for his kid. If he did overstep his bounds, I would have approached him first because it involved a child myself.
But okay, but that's a great. You can,
of the show.
But that discussion can be had on the air without bringing the daughter into it in any way that's going to expose any more than what we already know.
And Eddie, I also think if Steve hadn't had the track record of talking to different people on the show with different circumstances, this wouldn't be as big of a deal. But that's not the way it is.
Yeah, and I said to Howard. Howard said, "How did this?" We talked about this during the because Will did the notes. And Howard goes, how did Langford even get to him? And I said, I think he spent a week with him, traveling around with George. I'm sure they developed some sort of friendship, but Howard wasn't. He wouldn't buy in that.
All right, thank you, Eddie. Jenks, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Jenks. This whole Langford thing, I talked to him back in his office, and he said he doesn't answer to Howard. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where he gets off saying that. How does he get off not answering to Howard on this issue? He gives it to everybody else, but when it's his turn to get it, he doesn't take it.
Jenks, don't you, Gary? Steve is scheduled to do the news update tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, he'll answer to Howard tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm going to call in tomorrow and to remind Howard to ask Steve Langford about this, and I encourage anybody who's listening to the show to call in and ask Howard to remind Steve Langford about this.
By the way, so Steve will sit and talk to you on the phone?
Yes. Well, sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I called mercilessly this morning because I knew that he had to go in the studio, and he finally did answer, and he said he doesn't answer to Howard. I don't answer to Howard.
Here's the problem for Steve. Jenks, how many times did you call me or email me this morning with suggestions about how this should be handled?
Probably 10 or 20.
Exactly. The first email was at one point. The first email was, "This is bullshit." The second one is, "You better get Langford in." The third one is, "Langford has to come in and repeat." Then it was a phone message, and there were more emails, and that's just Jenks.
Gary, I was really upset, man. I was furious.
I could tell.
How did he get away with this?
Well, Jenks,
wait. Are you upset about what he's accused of doing, which he said getting the interview, or are you upset that he wouldn't talk to Howard?
No, you figure it this way. When Langford calls somebody on the carpet with a news story, okay, they are expected to come in and answer to Howard for it or talk about it to Howard. How does Langford get to put his hand up and say, "Point taken"? What if everybody did that every time Langford wanted to interview them?
But people
put
can't.
Their hand up and said,
Jenks, you make a very fair point. You're going to get your answer tomorrow morning.
On Tuesday's wrap-up show, George Takei came in and he told us, we found out that I guess they basically have an agreement where Brad doesn't listen while George is on, and George talked about that. George discussed kissing one of the guys on the show, and we talked about Governor Ventura and I having a nice, friendly discussion and all.
Now joining us, and he's always gracious enough to do this every time he comes in, is the Stern Show announcer, Mr. George Takei. And George, you're back again, and in the mix with Brad's weight, and your relationship seems to come up quite a bit whenever you do the Stern Show.
Doesn't it? And it's a good thing that Brad doesn't listen in when I'm on. He is addicted to this show, but he refuses to listen in when I'm on because... Well, he has given me free reign. He says that's the way the show works, but he doesn't like to hear what I have to share when I have free reign.
When did that start?
From the very beginning.
Right from day one,
Day one, he would not listen when I'm on. And he gets it from, there's that guy who writes capsule synopsis of what happened, and that's how he finds out about it.
But you've gotten some crap once in a while in the past. How does he find out about stuff like that? You know, like your bachelor party? Like, how did he find out about that?
Well, that was written about.
Right.
And then other people email him, too. So
See, I'm telling you, being in a gay relationship is just like a marriage relationship, because sometimes people email my wife and tell her shit I did on the show.
George, how,
just like regular people.
George, how would Brad react if he heard about that innocent kiss that you and Benji had today? Would he know that it's part of the show, or would he be a little upset?
He would know it's about part of the show, because we go to parties or we meet other gay couples and we greet them with a kiss. I mean, it's part of,
But not an open mouth kiss.
Well, actually, George, Brad just went on your Twitter account.
He did?
He said he knows about the Benji kiss, and Sunday is off. Off with capital letters.
Well, then I'll try for Monday.
It's a good thing you weren't with a model, or it could have been the whole month of May.
See, Benji? See what you did?
Sorry, man.
You're too cute.
Did you guys connect at all during that moment? Did you see something in each other's eyes?
I saw him pull back right away. I mean, I felt him.
No, I didn't connect in a sexual. I like George a lot, so.
And I like you.
Thanks.
You got beautiful eyes.
Thank you.
So
he's embarrassed.
Look at him. He's blushing.
He's beat red.
Hey, Ronnie, while we had you here, beforehand, when we were talking, I told Benji about this. You said what Benji did today with Jesse Ventura, that's not a rare occurrence. He does that all the time.
He does it. He does it as a thing for TV, I think. And, when I tell him a lot of times, I'll say to him, like, Benji, go away from the guests or whatever, and he'll just look at me and he'll smile and he'll just keep on doing it. And I think he thinks I'm picking on him, but Benji doesn't realize that I do work for Howard, and Howard does have certain rules, and I do abide by those rules that he asked me to to enforce. And we had the same problem. Can you let me talk?
I didn't know you worked here.
Could you let me talk?
I didn't know you worked here.
When Richard and Sal, we had the same problem with more Sal than Richard.
I didn't recognize you. I'm sorry.
He used to do the same thing.
I thought you were just some guy in the hall.
Howard got upset about it too, and I used to tell Sal, and he also used to ignore me about it. And then until Howard blasted him, then he realized that he wasn't really supposed to be doing this stuff.
So do you think Benji will continue to ignore you now after what happened today?
It came to the point when Howard really blew up today, and I don't think Benji realized how mad he was, but he really was mad. And I don't think Benji realized how mad he was about the whole thing. I mean, I know you yelled back at him. I don't know with you. You never know if it's shtick or you're serious, because that's the problem with you. Nobody ever knows the real Benji. That's the problem. And it was the whole thing with being late for work and the whole thing. It was the same thing. Nobody ever knows what your deal is, Benji. That's the whole problem.
Okay.
The only thing odder than the talkative Benji is the quiet Benji.
Yes.
George, or the other Benji, the
make out with you one?
No, the resistant and defensive and
George,
somewhat hostile.
But
Benji.
if someone's mad at you for something that didn't occur or occurred in a way, and it's being painted in a much different way than it occurred, you would want to explain yourself. Like if there was $20 on the table,
and you grabbed it, and someone's like, "Wow, George stole that money," and you were like, "No, actually, Brad told me he left me this 20." You would want to explain it before getting yelled at that you stole the money.
Did you see how Will handled it? You know, when Howard would say...
when Will messed up the oatmeal.
Right. And he said, "You're right. Yes, you're right." But and he was not resistant. And in this situation
I think it's okay. Listen, I think it's okay to be resistant when you're being, when you're being mistreated. I think it's okay to be
was a
resistant
reasonable desire on the part of Howard to say, the guests are here for
what I said. Howard does not need to be reasonable. That if he decides something, if he wants us to walk on one foot or hop through the hallway, and that's part of construction. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
that's reasonable. It's reasonable if Howard wants it done and that's the condition of working here. What I was saying was I thought I went through what are considered the appropriate steps before I did it.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Wednesday's wrap-up show, Jason Ellis was on talking about George Takei fondling his junk. And speaking of junk, I was talking about gazing at some cock in the gym room. Now, it was strictly a gazer, and it was for statistical reasons only. That makes sense. Check it out.
I know that you're a huge fan of the show, and I know that you probably labor over coming on the show the way Howard labors on going on Letterman.
Oh, for sure.
Like on a day like today, do you walk out of there, you hit a home run?
No.
Because you did.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit a home run today, right? Everybody agrees? I mean, everyone loved it too, but do you not know that when you walk out of there?
No, this time I felt like I did better than the last time, but as soon as I walked out, I started critiquing what I didn't say.
Well, what do you feel? What did you miss? What do you feel you missed?
I just feel that I was a little stressed and less humorous. I felt like there was a lot of, I have a lot of things that just come flying out that are just funny that none of those came out. I just did the torture the dick thing.
Now, Jason, when George comes over to take off those clamps,
it wasn't even that. It was before that.
Like when Howard
was on the other side and he started talking to me. There was a thing there where I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But I know people that aren't cool with that because you're straight up fucking flirting with me. Like, I've had penthouse pets in my studio. Every now and then they'll give you that look where I'm like, well, that's very flattering. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that. And George was giving me that before he even came around. Like, he was shaking a little bit. I'm like,
his eyes flutter a bit.
Yeah, but I thought I'm having fun.
It was fun.
Of course.
You had somewhat of a chubby though after he caressed your penis.
I was trying to get it bigger, because I kept stretching it. Good. I want gay people to want to suck it. Is there something wrong with that?
No, go ahead.
I want everybody to want it.
You want a gay man to suck your penis?
No, I want.
I don't think a straight man would. That makes sense.
I want everyone to want to suck my cock except my friends, because it's like when you go in a locker room. Like I'll change with random dudes and their dick can come out, but I ain't fucking changing with Bubba Booey over here. Like now that I know you, I don't want to see your dick in the locker room.
Does it bother you if a guy
change and then I'll come
if a guy waits in the locker room just to see your cock?
Who does? What? Is that you? Is that what you do?
The guy sitting right over here.
No, I don't
you
do that.
watch cocks?
No, I don't. I glance.
You're a cock watcher in the gym?
I glance out of
I will
curiosity.
fucking kick you in the face.
Really quickly explain to Jason
when
what
I'm
you
in
do.
Jason.
Yeah.
When I'm in the locker room, you just said that.
What is it?
When I'm in the locker room.
You're not really trying to tell me a story that's true, are you?
Not the way they're putting it. It's out of context.
In any way
it's
at
out
all?
of context. So
Okay.
no.
Put it in your words. Go ahead.
Curiosity factor. I just joined the gym. I've never worked out in my life, as you could tell. And I just joined the gym. And when I'm in the locker room, a lot of men have a tendency to get naked. So now I'm trying to fulfill my curiosities as a man. For example, there's a guy who's mentally challenged, a retard, and his dick was small. And usually retarded people have big dicks.
I would
want
to see a retarded dick.
Okay. Secondly, there was an Asian. I try to fulfill that curiosity.
Right.
You would think it would be.
Wait a minute. Were they all in the locker room at the same time?
No,
naked?
these are all different.
How long were you there waiting for the entire race of dick to come in?
Okay, good question.
A month.
Yeah,
right.
You've been doing this over the period
of research.
like a month.
I hope you filmed it.
I wish I could. I tried to take pictures, but I knew they would throw me out. I did take my BlackBerry out, but I'm like, nah, I'm crossing the line here. So I saw an Asian with the normal sized dick, thinking it would be small. I saw a retard with a small dick, thinking it would be big. And I seen a guy like you, actually, a real buff guy, who I was hoping. Now here I am changing.
You're hoping you had a little dick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, he dropped the towel, and I was so deflated.
It was a really bad moment. It's like scratching a lottery ticket. On the third one, you can win $1 million, and it's just like a fucking potato. Like, fuck.
You never know.
And I was pretty disappointed the whole day for that one. Well, the whole day at the gym. So that's what I do. I'm not on a mission. I don't go into a locker room and look for dick. I'm not the Jacques Cousteau of penis. I go in there, I get in and I get out, and I happen to see a certain nationality. I fulfill my curiosity.
And his last one was a black guy who he waited and waited.
I did
and
wait
waited,
for the black,
but he didn't pull his.
There was a
pants
cliffhanger on the show.
See, waiting for the dick.
Wait, that's right.
That's
wrong.
Even though they didn't say it was a long time, but if you see a guy come in and you wait until his pants come off to see the size of his dick. You are way gay.
He went to go.
No,
I didn't wait.
He did. Well, hold on. He saw a black guy at tidy whities, and he went over to where the guy was blow drying his hair because he thought that maybe he'd be able to see.
No, I went to blow dry my hair. Well, I saw the guy, and based on the cliffhanger here, Jason. Last time we spoke, Gary goes, "Did you see any black dick yet?" I go, "No, not yet." But I got to see my first black guy in the gym, in the locker room. I'm leaving. So I'm on my way out. I go, wow, a black fella here. So
you were on the way out?
I was on the way out.
If you didn't work for this fucking radio show, I would call the cops.
Hold on. Again, it's a cliffhanger. Gary asked, so I saw the black fella.
Don't make it sound like you had to stay.
I didn't.
It's the obvious cliffhanger.
Wait. He's making it sound like he had to go back so he could come report to me. You know what I mean?
No,
you're the gay
I
one.
believe that.
No
I believe
one told
that.
you to do this.
No,
this is your
I believe
curiosity.
You did. That's why I think
my
it's
curiosity.
okay. That's what I'm saying. I believe you did it, research to tell the story and tell Gary.
It's like your obsession with the show. Like you walked out and critiqued yourself. When Gary asked me last, he goes, "How about some black dick?" I go, "Haven't seen one yet." Saw the black fella, put on the brakes, hit the blow dryer,
I get it.
Try to finagle my eyeballs a little bit, and he put on his sweatpants, so I messed up. But
I get it though.
Stay tuned, everybody in the wrap-up show. We will eventually find out.
It's really Gary's the perverted one.
Maybe
He's using
Can't
to
you
get
just
the
do a
information.
show? Can't you just do a segment where you get random people to come in and guess their size and just get them all to drop it?
We could do that, yeah.
Well, then you could just nip it in the butt instead of being creepy at your gym.
Yeah, do you want to make it a Howard 101 special, Sal, where you critique dick?
Yeah.
I don't want to critique it, but again...
Do you want to come on my show and I'll do it on my show today? I'll just get like a bunch of... Anybody wants to come in and pull their dick out.
But Jason, the
dick
point,
frenzy.
The point is, it doesn't have to happen for a show. He's doing this in his gym. I mean, this is just...
but I believe he's doing it for research and development for the show.
I am, and wait, well, I said it fulfills my curiosity.
You don't think, Gary? You don't think?
Look,
I think he wants to know.
Do you think if he fired him, he would continue to do it?
Yeah, I do, because I think he wants to know.
I think we all want to know. I think every man. No, I do.
Okay,
you
fucked yourself.
No, I didn't.
Nobody wants to
we
know
all want to
everybody's
know.
penis size.
I'm telling you, we all. When Steve Brandano takes a fucking piss, and if there's a guy next to him, and he has the opportunity to get an eighth of a glance just to see if he's holding up in the society of men, he's gonna do it. That's us. We're men. We measure up. We measure our biceps against biceps, our chest against chest, and our cocks against cocks.
I think it's only for insecure penises.
Well, I'm insecure. Look at it. It looks like an aardvark. It's a disaster.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, we talked about George Takei and the fact that he started off the morning thinking of Jason Ellis and jerked off to him. And would there be any complications with Brad? What does it mean? And how blind George's love seems to be for Jason Ellis. And then we all talked about what would happen in our relationships if something like that happened. And I don't think we can pull off what George pulls off. And here's that conversation.
I want to talk about what happened at the very beginning of the show, where George talked about what he did in the shower this morning, and basically, and you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, proclaimed his love, admiration, I'm not sure of the right word, for Jason Ellis. And he said he spoke about it with Brad.
You're being too nice. He said he jerked off in the shower this morning thinking of Jason.
Well, that's another way of putting it, much more succinctly. But I guess... do they have the relationship where it's comfortable enough that those kinds of things can happen? Or do you think that there's more bad news for George around the corner? He just doesn't know that it's coming.
Well, let me ask you a question. I think Mutt started to bring this up a little bit, that they were going to talk about this on Superfan tonight. If you spent the whole week, right, sitting in there talking about that you thought your wife was fat and that she could stand to lose some weight, and then at the end of the week, a really hot girl came in and you just started squeezing her naked tits, would you be able to go home?
I wouldn't have a wife. I seriously, and I wouldn't blame her. Like, that's, and I think...
So maybe they do have some special arrangement.
I think they do. I mean, Stacey said, when she was talking about relationships, she said that maybe Brad's weight is his passive-aggressive way of telling George that, you know what, I'm going to be this way because, he's kind of fighting back in a subtle way. Or maybe everything's just smooth between them. It's hard to tell. What do you think, Ronnie?
Well, it's not the first time he's touched a cock on the show.
That's true. But
I guess they do... They've had an arrangement, obviously, before Brad's weight came up.
But George was like, listen, what I did yesterday was I just touched it. I didn't, he sort of insinuating that because he didn't do more about it. I guess it could be, a guy saying, hey, I felt the girl's tits. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but Gary, remember the day the guy was in here with the 12-inch cock and he had his hand down?
Well,
he had that look on his face like if I had my finger up some girl's ass or something.
But isn't that like for years, girls have been coming in here, guys have been feeling them up. Isn't just touching a dick the gay version of that?
I don't know. I can't define that. I'm not in that position.
Yeah, but a lot of guys don't do that anymore. Like, you don't do it anymore, do you?
No.
And I'm sure, that's because of your wife, right?
Well, she didn't like it, and I started to feel a little dirty doing it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's a kid's thing, even though I have boys. When you have kids, I start to feel a little creepy doing it.
And John, have you ever done it in here?
Not on the show, no. Well, not
How about
on
off
the show either. No.
Yeah, John.
John doesn't.
I got to be in the green room.
Not on the show.
Bad answer. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it. I think it's disrespectful to my wife.
Would you have done it when you were single?
When I was single?
Yeah.
Sure. But I don't think a lot of people are doing it these days, right?
And Howard stopped.
Howard stopped. He said out of respect to Beth, I think. Ronnie, how about you?
Have you seen me do it?
No, but next time
I haven't been in there.
But if
I've been in there with a flashlight to put them under the check for implants.
Right. But there's a difference between that.
I've held them up and put the flashlight on
like the one that I remember.
I'll do it. Bring somebody in here right now. I'll do it.
I can't remember the girl's name, but it was back at terrestrial radio. She had that funny, real New York accent, and we all said we didn't believe she had real tits. And the line was ridiculously long.
I remember that.
I think Wood Yee was on the end of the line.
That was the clown car line, right?
That's when I was the last one, I think, to go in with the flashlight to test them.
Well, who usually leads that charge?
Well, DePace has always said to me his wife doesn't care and he can do whatever he wants. But he hasn't been in there in a while. But he says it's no big deal. Pam doesn't care. I don't know who leads that charge.
Usually it used to be, I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I think the difference here, getting it back to George, is not only is George touching him, but the way he's referring to he's literally gushing over, this guy. And if you're married to George, Gary, would it bother you?
I would think so. Listen, if my wife went to, what are those Chippendales, and she was jamming her hand down a guy's pants, and even though she was laughing, she was grabbing a dick, I'd probably be pretty annoyed.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, on Monday's wrap-up show, the shit hit the fan, and myself, Benji, and Scott Salem all had to defend ourselves about who left a big giant stink in the bathroom. Then later Tracy came in to give a whole state of the bathroom update about what's going on in there and the current conditions inside our bathroom. So check it out.
First, we have to start with this bathroom controversy. Now, Gary, I thought there was an edict that no one should be taking a crap in that bathroom to start with.
Well, there is, but you're on the honor system. It's like West Point here. You're on the. We always said that you're not. Howard said, "I don't want people taking a crap in there," but I think some people, probably like Jason, have said, "Does that count for off days or when the show is long over?"
It's a fair question. I don't know. I just remember when that thing with Sal went down last time. It was like nobody was supposed to take a dump.
Well, I have a question about recently, like within the last 6 months recently, Howard gave Ross Zapin permission to use the bathroom specifically to take dumps.
Was it specific to that?
That was his thing. I can't take dumps in the public bathroom.
That's the Ross corollary, Jason.
What's up?
That's the Ross corollary.
What I'm saying is
it's a butterfly effect.
I have never been aware of a total shitting ban in the bathroom. I've heard no shitting during the show, which I don't have time for anyway.
But why would you do it? Like, why even take the chance, knowing that it's going to eventually get back to you, or
I didn't
could
think,
get back to you?
I didn't think there was a chance. I didn't think I was taking any sort of risk using the bathroom in the way that you're supposed to use the bathroom.
Well, who lodged the complaint? Was it you, Gary?
Me. I will tell you, here's what happened. I went in there, and I hit the wall.
Oh, wait, I thought
Because-
Benji.
No. I went in there, and I hit the wall. Howard told the story wrong. I went in there, and I hit the wall, so I got the log. But what happened was, as soon as I came out after I hit the wall, I walked in, and I go, somebody just stunk up the bathroom, at which point Benji got all freaked out. He goes, I was just in there. I smelled it. It was not me.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So, because I thought the way it was put out on the air was that Benji, the way I heard it on the air this morning, is that Benji walked into the bathroom, was so knocked out by a smell, he came and immediately alerted you.
No, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around. So
then I asked Tracy, I said, Tracy, I know this sounds crazy, and this is my own nuttiness, but can you get me the log for the last half hour who was in the bathroom? She goes, let me see. So she put it on my desk, and I looked at it, and I saw that you were only in there for 3 minutes, so I figured it was either you or Scott.
now again, let me explain. Maximum 3 minutes, meaning from the time I used my key card to go into the bathroom till the time Benji walked in.
Wait, Jace.
meaning I could hold on a second. Meaning I could have been in there for 30 seconds. Left and had nothing happen for another 2 minutes till Benji walked in. The absolute max amount of time, like Benji would have been waiting for me outside the door when I opened it.
Was 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
Thank you.
Jason's
But Jace,
working
you
on his
do
defense,
remember when
clearly.
I walked in? Do you remember me like, what the fuck? Like as you were walking out?
No, I don't.
Well, here's something. Did you smell anything when you were in there?
I don't remember. I've been in that bathroom
because you don't remember.
Horribly. Yeah, I've been in that bathroom where it smelled horribly before. I've been in that bathroom where I've said something to people before. I can't imagine. My guess is that since I only spent a maximum of 3 minutes in there, if I went in there to shit and it smelled that bad, I probably just walked right out. But I've walked in there and smelled horrible things before. I've just never said anything about it. But I will be reporting on everyone's bathroom
if
now.
if you were the defecator, listen, it is a bathroom, so that happens. But when I walked in, same as Gary, it was like, what? Oh my god!
But my
It
whole
hits
point
you
is,
and you're like,
I've walked into shitty smells before.
Yeah.
This one was so bad it made me go
But
investigate.
my point is, it apparently wasn't so bad that it stopped Benji from staying in there.
I peed. I did pee.
According to you, again, to play Benji on you for a second, we're taking your word for everything.
You're right. You're absolutely. There's no. I agree with you. However,
Have you
you're
taken a
saying-
dump in there before?
I don't. It's possible in the 6 years we've been here after the show's on. I don't think so.
Recently?
Because no.
Can you prove you didn't take a dump in there last
I don't
Wednesday?
think I can prove that. But
Right,
however,
exactly.
I'll say just to explain it, I would prefer to go to the public bathroom because it's less pressure. It's just to me.
Then
it's
why
like-
are you always in this one?
To pee during the show.
But you are in this one a lot. I mean, I
to urinate,
like everybody.
Yeah. But the public bathroom, it's like I want to sit down and I want to relax and I don't want like pressure of people need to go in there.
All right, Jason's trying to put it on Benji, but
I'm
while
not
you
trying to
two,
put it
hold on,
on
but
anybody.
Jace, you've
wait,
also
Benji,
said-
while you two are going back and forth, Scott Salem is sitting here silently, and when we started the show,
I'm just listening.
Gary,
I love it.
Gary
Let them
said
go.
that all signs point to Scott.
And I only say that because I don't think that Jason could have done what he needs to do in 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
But you don't even know how long I was in there.
He may have done it.
No,
I know, and that's his stupidity because he's being honest.
But he's
What am
saying
I going to
I don't
do? Lie
remember.
and say I don't take a
I
shit at work?
absolutely-
All you guys
no.
are lying.
But so
I
let's
know
talk
you
to
shit at
Scott.
work.
No,
I
I'm
know you
not
shit at
lying.
work.
I
I know you shit
absolutely
at
did
work.
not.
I know
no,
you shit at work.
Jason, I did
Hold on.
not. I know
Hold
for
on.
a
No, I don't
fact.
believe you.
Not in that
Stop.
bathroom.
I don't believe you, Ben.
Scott Salem, can you emphatically tell me that you're absolutely positive that you did not shit there on Wednesday?
Yes.
You can remember last Wednesday. You
Yes.
remember last Wednesday
do.
well.
Then why wouldn't you swear on your son's life?
That's not necessary, but I didn't, and I told you.
But if you 100%
It's a little
did-
necessary for
John,
this.
will you swear on your daughter's life about things?
If there's something that absolutely
Really?
did that I didn't do?
I agree with Scott. Like, I would not. I think it's like it's.
If you
No,
don't,
I'm being
I'll do
honest.
on my own life, but to do it on other people, it's just I don't like.
Why do you think something will happen to them?
I just don't. I think it's like it's exploiting is not the right word, but it doesn't feel right to me. To
I
do
don't
it.
Right, because you think
deny-
something will happen to
No,
them.
no.
I don't deny I do that in that bathroom, and I told you I reserved that for no-show days.
So here's
So-
the question.
You guys are
Here's the
all
question. Here's the
liars.
time. No, here's the
You
timeline.
guys are all liars.
Hold on.
No, I'm going to be the bathroom cop. Trust me. Everyone's bathroom habits are getting reported back on the air.
Here's the
Jason, if I ever go at work, I always go in here. I never go back there. Ever.
Okay, John. Okay.
I mean, I know
I will be keeping.
You're trying to cast doubt on it, but why would I lie about it?
Don't you have like
you're
your
okay,
work job?
You're
to
lying
do?
right now because I saw you walk into the bathroom 2 days ago. Now maybe you're going in there to take a
No,
piss.
I've
Maybe
never
you're going in there to
take a dump.
Oh,
Take
okay.
a dump. That's what I'm
Okay.
saying. No, I pee in there all the time.
But here's the timeline. Scott Salem in at 11:19, Jason Kaplan at 11:27, Benji in at 11:30, me in at 11:32. It's not me. I can guarantee because I'm the one who reported.
Well, based on Jason's logic, how can we prove that?
Because I'd be a moron to report it.
You could be a brilliant.
So it's got to be one of the three, and I don't see the timing working out for it to be Jason or Benji.
I'm not bragging when I says it takes more than 3 minutes for me to shit. Like that's an embarrassing thing to admit.
Okay.
And it's not something I'm proud of. So when I come on here and say I couldn't have shit in 3 minutes, it's not how I go to the bath. That would be like an emergency shit. That means I ran in there, pulled my pants down, did my business, and that's just not how I shit.
Wait, so Jason, are you saying now that you definitely weren't the shitter?
I can't say that because I don't know if and when I shit on Wednesday. And quite frankly, I feel I'm the only person being honest when they say they can't remember their
Jason,
No, I remember.
I can remember I didn't shit on Wednesday.
I can't remember what if I shit on
okay.
Thursday. I
mean,
can't remember if I shit on
okay.
Friday.
Here's the thing. I'm with Howard on this one. I can remember the last time I made a number 2 in that bathroom because I try not to, and there's an awareness of that it's not supposed to happen in there.
Don't take this the wrong way. I'm at work here,
right,
at least twice as long.
No, I got it.
During the day and during the days where there's no show, Thursdays and Fridays. Okay, I believe my relationship with the office is slightly different than yours or Howard's relationship with the office. I spend more time here Monday through Friday than I do in my own house. So yes, I have a different relationship, I think, with the bathroom and remembering every time I use it than I would if you're only here for 5-6 hours every morning, 3 days a week.
Is the bathroom aware of the relationship?
The bathroom is very aware of our relationship.
And we're all aware of the relationship as well. Jeff in Pennsylvania, you're on the wrap-up show.
Well, it just all goes back to the same thing. Everything's pointing to Jason McGarry and his favorite line. Oh, I got to defend Jason on this one.
Well, how is everything pointing to Jason? Listen, hold on. Let me finish my sentence. Look at the timing. The timing just doesn't make sense. I'm not saying he emphatically didn't do it. I'm saying the timing doesn't seem to work.
Scott, are you positive?
Like you just said with everybody else, you remember when you took a shit in there. Scott said he didn't. Benji said he didn't. But you'll still say, I can't, I'll defend Jason on this one. And you come in there and at least 15 times I can remember that was your first line.
Did you have any gas on Wednesday, possibly?
Nobody cares what you think.
Let me clarify this. I didn't take a shit in there, but
you won't
it is
swear
possible.
on your kid's life about it.
Right.
All right, I'll swear on my kid's life I didn't take a shit in there.
But it is
possible that someone had violent gas.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever?
Did you possibly have violent gas?
Did you ever have gas when you pee?
Of course.
Well, okay, there's the answer.
But
okay?
did you possibly have
Is that what
violent
happened
gas?
to you? Is that what you're saying?
No,
You had
I
violent
didn't
gas
shit.
when you pee?
I don't remember. Gas, I don't remember. I know I didn't shit. Okay, I can tell you I didn't shit.
This wasn't a cloud. This was a wall.
I didn't shit.
Do you know the difference? You walk into a fart cloud, but then it's a cloud, and you can move away from it. This was a shit wall.
Well, I didn't do it.
John in Cleveland, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, John.
Listen, there's no doubt about it. Okay, Benji, I don't like you, but I believe that you didn't do it.
Thank you,
Jason, you're all right, brother. And if you weren't, I would tell you did it. You didn't do it, Scott. You fat lying piece of shit. Just
thank you very much.
Own up to it. You did it.
I'm telling you.
The timeline is there.
No, there's no time. The timeline means I entered. You don't know how long I was in there. So tell me how long I was in there, and then I'll tell you I took a shit.
Scott, do I have to get video?
Did you ever fart when you pee? Come on, Scott. You
Hey,
took
Scott,
a
I
shit.
do have a question. Why were you there for like
There's nothing wrong with taking a shit.
minutes
Everybody
if you
does.
were
Nothing
just
wrong
He
with
wasn't.
it.
Hold on. He wasn't there for 9. All we know is what time he went in. There's no way to know when he left.
We need like a photo.
Well, actually, there is a way you can know. If you do get the video, you can see when somebody left.
Well, we don't have video that's on the bathroom door. We only have it of the hallway.
But Scott's got to pass by
That's right.
to go back to where
There
he
should be
works.
like an automatic photograph when you sit down on it.
Again, if I knew I did it, like if I knew, like, yeah,
Me
I
too.
shit really bad on Wednesday and I left first of all, I would admit it. Number one, like flat out, I'd be like, yeah, I fucking did it, caught red-handed. I just don't remember, but I will take you through my shitting process since everyone seems so interested in it.
I'm not that interested.
Some people just
Please don't.
That's all right. I try, unless it's an emergency, which I can count on my fingers the amount of times it's been an emergency, and there wasn't one last Wednesday. That I could state. That I don't like using that bathroom to do a number 2 while the show is on, and 11:30 is still showtime because all of Howard TV is here. All the radio guys are still here. There's people knocking on the door every 3 seconds. It's not a comfortable situation.
Right.
And I know this about myself, that when I do it, it's in the afternoon. I prefer not to use the thing out here either because it's smelly and there's 500 other people shitting. So again, unless it was an emergency, that would be breaking my normal habit to go at 11:30 in the morning.
But 11:30 was not showtime.
No, people are still around
until 12. Everybody's.
You know what?
Here.
A lot of the Howard
crazy.
TV guys were talking about this. If any of you guys want to come down here and point the finger, now is the time because everyone seems to be denying their participation in this. Scott,
what do you mean?
Michigan.
What do you mean
The
denying?
Howard TV guys were saying when certain people leave, you can smell it, and they can speak for themselves. Scott, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, I love how everybody's just passing over the fact that Gary didn't do it. Gary, what a great offense. You took a shit that smelled so bad that you even were afraid to let anybody know you might have done it.
Yes, you
great.
You caught me.
That's awesome.
I swear on the life of my children that you're a douchebag.
I mean, it does fall
great,
into
Gary.
those who dealt it, smelt it argument, Gary. Guy does have a point.
I swear on the life of my children, happily, that I did not take a shit in there.
Jason, I respect the fact that you admit that you go in there, and you're actually coming clean about that.
Yes.
But ultimately, I think this is pointing towards you. Because you said you gone there, you can't remember. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Benji, who knows? And Scott, I mean, he swore on the life of his kid, and he never does that.
What do you mean? Who knows with me? I listen. Whether you believe
That's for
it or
everything.
not,
We say that about you for everything.
I'm giving you a definitive thing. I did not do it. I completely remember. I completely remember walking in there and the smell.
Gary, I beg you now, go pull the videotape from the hallway. I want to know exactly how long I was.
And
in
if you get the video,
I don't need to know.
you'll see.
No,
you'll
I want to
see-
know exactly when I left.
And
I
you'll
want to
see
know if I'm
my
not
reaction
in there. If
when
I'm
I
not in
walked
there for
like,
a minimum of a
pulling
minute and a
back.
half, I did not shit. End of story.
Well, it's hard to because you may not have come right back by the camera. You might have gone and chatted with somebody right.
no,
after
isn't that camera right in the hall?
No, you got to come down. It's
Well, we
not
need
on the
better
bathroom
cameras, though.
door.
You can't disprove a negative. I can't go on here and say, oh, well, 100% wasn't me. Or I can't sit here with 100% not me. I feel I'm the only one being honest, admitting that they take shits in the bathroom. Sorry, I don't believe these two guys when they say they don't remember.
Jason,
That's my
I do remember. I did not defecate here on Wednesday. I
don't-
absolutely remember
okay,
that.
we'll take your word for it. I mean, that's all you're asking us to do is take your word for it.
You're right, but
Okay.
don't say it like it's not.
I don't take your
maybe
word for
I believe that you don't. It's not that unusual for people to remember when they shit and where they shit. It's not that rare.
Maybe it's rare that I'm the one that doesn't remember when they shit. I don't know. I don't keep a logbook. I know I shit this morning before I came to work. That's the last shit I remember taking.
And what was the problem with
How long did you take?
What was the problem with
Too
the
long.
with
I
the
was late.
newspapers? You were being accused
So a while ago, like I'm talking a year and a half ago, Tracy came up to me and started talking to me loudly about newspapers in the bathroom because I do take newspapers in the bathroom, as do several other people here. I won't name them. But she was saying that I was reading the papers and leaving them on the side. I wasn't. I was reading the paper and throwing them out. And I told her that at the time. And I told her who I thought it was that was leaving the papers stacked up. And she confronted that person. Then a year later, I'm sitting in the hall. I'm talking to Tim's assistant, Sarah.
Who's very cute. You need to know that.
Very cute. And we're talking about work. And Tracy comes barreling out of her office in her Tracy way and starts screaming about, me and my fucking shits, and she's had enough of it, and I leave the papers, and blah, blah, blah. And I got pissed, not because she was wrong, which she was, but because I'm sitting here and I'm just trying to talk to a girl in the hallway, and now my stories about my shit are being thrown out everywhere. I didn't appreciate that. I didn't think it was necessary. Tracy and I are fine. But it's not me. It's not me. And now I go and I report every time I see a newspaper in the bathroom. I report on it.
Did you address that with her? How when you were talking to Sarah, you felt sort of uncomfortable?
I don't. You know what? I yelled. She yelled. We both didn't talk for a day, and then we both pretended it never happened.
Did you try to explain it to Sarah at all that you don't really?
No, Sarah was gone by the time Tracy and I were done yelling at each other.
Did you guys ever see the episode of How I Met Your Mother where Jason Segel does a whole plot line about how when he walks to the bathroom with a magazine, everybody knows he's going to take a shit?
Yeah, he went to the other building and he had to hide it.
Tom Chiusano had a whole edict about it at K-Rock. Sales guys weren't allowed to bring newspapers into the bathroom. It was a whole thing.
Tracy, I know there's been issues with this bathroom really from the get-go. Has it gotten any better, or do you think people are still disrespecting the
It got better
privilege?
for a while. People were paying a little more attention when they were leaving, cleaning things up off the seats. But like last week, I mean, the pubes have started all over again. There was just urine all over the floor. And
How's
I
that
know
po- how's
people
that
saw
possible?
So it was all over the inside of the you could see the urine. Like all you had to do was walk in and you could see it on the floor.
Both Scott and Benji do say they pee in the bathroom all the time. They're on record for that. Not me.
Trace, what was this issue you had with Jason?
God, I don't even want to call it an issue because it's not anymore. We've discussed it. It's gone. But basically somebody, and Jason says it's not him, so if he says it's not him, so be it. goes in there, takes the paper, and then leaves it in there after they shit. That's fine if you want to read the paper in there when you shit. Many people do it. I get it. But take it with you when you go. Nobody wants your shitty paper. Don't leave it in there and tell me, oh, this one's going to want to read it. That one's going to want to read it. No one's going to want to read it. And I know this because they pile up, and by Friday there's 5 papers sitting there that no one has touched because they're shitty papers, and nobody wants to touch a shitty paper.
So whoever's doing this isn't performing a public service like they think they are.
No, they're being lazy because they can't put their hand 3 feet to the left and stick it in the dumpster. They have to leave it on the counter.
And after Tracy and I had this incident, I started to report to her every time I saw a paper left. And you know what? Again, not to sound like a snob, but they're all USA Todays. And I mean, I'm fucking wasting my time on that shit.
I don't read that paper either.
They actually, I have to say though, they became USA Today's after we had the discussion. Before that, it was the New York Post.
That is some master. Well, I get my New York Post electronically, so it would be on my iPad.
I will
Daily News would be the only one I don't get.
I will tell you how little a sense of humor Tracy has when it comes to the bathroom. She complained to me once that there were pubes in there, and I cracked a joke that she did not find funny. And I said, hey, if you shake the tree hard enough, a few leaves will fall off. She's like, that's disgusting.
And Tracy, you're just disgusted by all this, yes?
Just your bathroom habits. Just, you know, if you're at home and, you know, your wife cleans your bathroom, your cleaning lady cleans your bathroom. I'm not your wife, I'm not your cleaning lady. We do have a maid at night, and I get it. That's what she's there for. But that's at night. We're there all day from 6 a.m. on. By 12 o'clock, it's disgusting. It's disgusting in there.
I'm way more put out by the piss on the floor than I am by the shit.
It was gross.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
lean down and use a fucking towel and clean it up if you can't.
I'm still put off that we found a pebble there once that we could never identify who it belonged to.
A pebble?
Yeah, we found a little shit pebble. You don't remember that?
Oh, a shit pebble. I thought you meant.
Can we just take a step back for a second? It's one thing to shit, and I'm not trying to get this off me because I still don't think it was me that did it, but it's one thing to shit and leave a smell. It's another thing to piss on the floor, see yourself piss on the floor, and then walk away. That, to me, that's crazy. That is like, pick up a fucking paper towel, bend down, and fucking do what you got to do. Don't leave piss on the floor.
Do you think there's any chance that somebody pees and doesn't know they hit the floor?
Yes.
Not this time. Not this time. No
you know
way.
what? I've done it before. I've missed, whatever. But I've cleaned up afterwards. I go, oh shit, and I get a paper towel and
I've only ever missed, to the best of my knowledge, like when I was so drunk. And I haven't been that drunk here.
No, because I know what Tracy's talking about, and I've seen it. I didn't come running, but now I will. I'm going to come running to everybody.
By the way,
you walk in, you see there's a puddle underneath the fucking toilet, and it happens
it's somebody who doesn't drink a lot of water because it is bright yellow. You can't miss it.
Somebody who might drink a very green vegetable drink.
And by the way, speaking of our public bathroom, last week I don't remember if it was Thursday or Friday, and I know I was taking a piss because I was at the urinal, but I was standing in a puddle of water. I mean, it was just the whole thing was all the urinals were under 3 inches.
Yeah. We've had these issues. We had these issues at K-Rock in the public bathroom too. The men's bathrooms are just by nature disgusting.
That K-Rock bathroom was nasty.
You have no idea. I mean, we found somebody was shaving in there. We weren't even sure it was mustache hair. We thought it might have been pubes. It was so fucking gross.
Who do you think these newspapers are pointing to, Gary?
USA Today? Well, I couldn't say. But look, you mean who on the staff can't read a paper well enough unless there's graphs and pictures?
Lots of colors.
I got to think about that. Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, we talked to the guy who goes on Craigslist and gets laid like crazy. That, of course, led us to talking to Benji about his exploits on Craigslist. And then Ronnie came in and we talked about his alter ego, Rhonda, and how Rhonda likes a finger in her ass a little bit, not all the way. Here's how it all went.
Our guest on the phone today, Aaron, who was the conqueror of Craigslist, I guess, and he talked about how he's not a particularly good-looking guy, but he knew how to play this game very well. And Benji, before you came in, we were saying today was the most eloquent. You were right on mic. You're an expert in this field.
You took the straightest line to get to your point.
Yeah, right. That came across very clearly. But you seemed. Could you vouch for him in a sense? Like, do you believe everything he said was true? All of his stories, all that stuff can happen?
Absolutely. And it's like I've said, it's if someone wants to figure it out, it works.
It's very interesting because interviewing him today was not that different from that night that we all went out to dinner with you, and everybody at the table was interviewing you, and that's how I knew this guy was telling the truth, because what he talked about sounded a lot like what you talked about.
Yeah. I mean, if you're in the right place, like you said, small towns, I can't imagine it working. But if you're in a place with a big enough it's all a numbers game, and it's a niche marketing and knowing how to play it.
Right. So you're appealing to these fantasies, and if somebody bites, you're in business. But you did have an issue with the picture, right? Well,
he said like, use a picture that looks like you. I think for an uglier guy, that's not as. I would use one your best for a guy. For a girl, you should use. For a guy, should use his best picture.
And a girl should use her not
Well, it
so
depends.
best?
Well, for dating purpose, this is different. For dating, a girl should use her worst picture. But for just purely hooking up, a guy should definitely use his best picture.
And is part of the element sort of like the unknown, like you don't know who's going to show up at the door, and is that part of the
there's an exciting like walking somewhere in the middle, in 2 a.m. and in some like it's kind of scary but kind of exciting.
I was blown away by the show up with a blindfold,
turn around.
That's just, to me, that just has trouble written all over it.
Have you done something like that?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, I would wait blindfolded and no, but I've told the guys here before, and this was years ago, and I played into girls like rape fantasies, and I was always very worried. If you go to what if someone's, which now there's been several cases where people have set people up and they've gone to the wrong apartment.
Right. How can you prove your innocence?
Well, the guy said he never. Girls don't do that initially. There's a lot of girls that are into that fantasy that do that, and I would always kind of whisper first, like, wait, this is really you. You're really into it. I wouldn't just start, doing it.
Ronnie, what do you think of this Craigslist stuff? Would you give this a shot back in the day?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
I don't know. You never know what you're walking into. It's too risky for me. I wouldn't do it.
Benji, what would you say was, aside from that, what would you say was back in the day was the most dangerous situation you ever in, where you got the most nervous or anything?
In projects, not once in the apartment, but all of a sudden you realize between floors on the elevator that people coming in and out of the elevator that can be very scary.
Like you'd be in an apartment on a street with 3 digits and on the 44th floor.
Yeah.
Did you ever turn around in the middle and say, I can't go through with this?
If I met the girl and the girl was something was really off about her, absolutely.
But what would be off? What would scare you away? I'm not talking about if you meet a girl and you didn't like her looks, that I get. Have you ever not had sex with a girl because there was
hairy stomach?
No, there was something that scared you, or something that what do you call it? Your spidey sense should go on. Is that what he said?
No, it was usually more about looks. Always, if the girl's hot, I could get through fear.
Hey, did you ever walk into a situation? You walked in, the girl was real hot and everything, and you found out she had a cock.
No, but I
Have you, Ronnie?
No, I'm just asking a question because anything's possible because you get the transvestites who.
Well, no, but I have been in
kind
situations.
Of stuff too,
I talked about once on the air where I got there. And then I did realize, holy fuck, this is a dude.
And so that's
that's what I'm asking you.
Well, okay, there was one.
Was it a girl? You thought it was a girl?
There was a situation years ago. I talked about this. I called in the show before I worked here. This was before Craigslist. This was from a phone line, and I went to the apartment in the middle of the night.
Oh my god!
And I was sitting on her bed, and all of a sudden I realized this is a guy. All of a sudden I was like, there's no way this isn't a guy.
But it looked like a girl when you walked in. You thought it was a chick.
I thought it was a chick.
Did you reach down to check?
No. But then she said to me because she said that she was living at her parents' house. She said, you can't leave. I started telling her I'm not comfortable with this. I have to go. And she's like, oh, my parents will wake up. You can't leave. And I just started getting really scared. So
what'd you do?
I started talking about my girlfriend. And I said I had a girlfriend. And I felt so bad that I was cheating on her. And then this guy is starts oh my God, that's so sweet. And he's cradling me. And I had to just sit there for a couple hours and talk about how guilty I felt till my parents.
Was he a big guy? Could he have raped you or something? Or?
No. It was.
Did you feel when you were in the hug that if you wanted to leave, it would be difficult because of the strength?
I started getting scared because I started looking around the room. There was all kinds of satanic symbols.
Oh my God!
Skulls. And
so you should have looked at that before you got.
Yeah, you didn't notice that right away.
Hey, Ronnie, beforehand, when we were talking about this, when you went in as Rhonda when talking with JD, and the finger in your ass came up, you always clarify and you make sure that everyone understands what you're talking about. Why is that?
What do you mean?
Rhonda kept talking about the way she likes a finger in her ass, and I found that very amusing.
Got to go in easy.
Not too tight.
Yeah, well, you don't want you just shove it in there. I mean, you gotta be easy, right? Right there, JD.
I don't. You tell me. You're the expert.
Well, I'm Rhonda.
No, I don't know what the hell you are.
Does there have to be lube involved, Rhonda, with a finger?
No.
Or dry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
JD
Rhonda.
And
Yeah.
fingernails, make sure you clip your fingernails.
And file them.
JD, is this all too creepy for you, the Craigslist thing, or because it sounds like Benji said it's pretty much a sure thing if you play your cards
I know,
right.
and I've had friends. I've seen the girls. They ended up hooking up with them, and it's just not. I'm just not into it. It's very. I'm very leery of the situation. It's like the guy that called in saying a guy ended up showing up to his room. Like that's what I would think would happen to me because I know my luck.
Is it because you have to put the work in? Because this isn't the girls just don't show
there's
up.
that.
and
I am very lazy, so there's a whole yeah.
But do you think that girls are just going to want to bang you? You got to put some work in, right?
No, I know. No, I know that.
At least put a bag of popcorn in a movie.
No, I know. I'm just. I know.
Even if it's in your hotel room.
The impression I got from Benji is if you throw enough lines out in a city this size, you're going to hook up every night. So how come you don't want to throw the lines out?
Huh?
How come you don't want to throw the lines out?
I just don't, and because I don't think I would have Benji's luck, and I just.
But I don't think Benji had luck. I think he was just throwing a lot of lines out.
I think I'm good at once I was talking to a girl, talk to a girl, but it's much more. And now JD, I think should just do Facebook. I mean, there's chicks that love him that he could easily, if he wanted to date or wanted to get laid anytime, he could.
I'm not saying I of course I've had chicks on Facebook, and I don't really need Craigslist.
I think JD only approves girls as friends on Facebook, right?
For the most part, yeah. Unless I know the guy.
Because I get emails from fans who are like, "Oh, JD wouldn't approve me. He said only chicks."
Oh, hey, listen, sorry.
But online is much more efficient than dating. And I think a regular guy can get much hotter girls much easier.
Jay, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, that's Ron, first-time caller. So I was looking at this guy, give his spiel today, and was a little skeptical. And then Benji chimed in and said that he'd had success as well. About 3 years ago, I was just leaving a relationship and decided to turn to Craigslist. I'm sure it was late at night. But basically it was all phishing scams. Like all the what I thought were girls I was reaching out to, where my email inbox was inundated with like, go to this site to check out my pictures, and basically became unusable. So I'm wondering, has Benji run into this problem at all?
Well, I don't do it. I don't do it anymore. But yeah, it's like you would get 70% of the responses would be bullshit, but you put things in to see if it's a real response, and you weed through that. That's it's not that hard.
So
where do you live? Also,
there's some amount of work.
Where do you live?
Oh, we lost him.
Oh, yeah.
I think JD might have got discouraged too by that guy that made the film for the Howard Film Festival.
Oh, when he got fooled.
I'm discouraged by every. It seems like every girl I talk to, they just want to talk on the air and whatnot. I just don't want to talk to anyone. It makes me not want to discuss anything with anyone.
That is the cool thing. I mean, you could go on something like that and not be JD.
Oh, Rick, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey guys, I don't dislike Ronnie Munn, but to me he's like the Korean nurse on MASH. It's like a little bit of him, okay, but sometimes Ronnie has to be in there every single time. Ronnie, you got to pull back, man. It's too much.
Rick says you got to pull back a little there, Ronnie.
That doesn't sound like Rick. The voice sounds very familiar.
It is Rick.
It is Rick from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't dislike you, Ronnie, but it's all...
Look, dude, I don't really care if you like me or you don't like me. I'm not in here every day. I'm in here when they talk about me on the air. John asked me to come in. I'm in. If you don't like it, don't listen to me. Nobody asked you to fucking listen to me,
Well,
dude.
I have to listen to you.
No, you
You're on
don't
the
have
air,
to
you
listen to me.
dumbass.
No, you don't, you dumbass.
Rick, do you
Somebody put a gun to your goddamn head.
Rick, do you think Ronnie's popularity has sort of gotten in the way of others' fame here, or people may be a little jealous?
I think his popularity is a myth, and I think he's taking too much airtime. And for Sal and Richard, I wouldn't try.
Dude, I was invited in here, you moron. I don't come in here every day.
Too much, Ronnie.
Well, too much of you, Rick. Go get a fucking job.
Gary, do you think Richard and Sal may be jealous of Ronnie's ascent?
No.
I love Ronnie. I was cutting up isolated Ronnie yelling clips today, so we're big fans of Ronnie.
We just put
And
together
I
that
could
great funeral bit about Ronnie.
Yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
And
I've been playing that for everybody.
And I could hear stories about Ronnie getting fingers in his ass every freaking day.
And I could watch
love
you
it.
blow yourself all the time. It's great.
Who doesn't
love it.
Who doesn't love their grandparents? Come on.
Yeah.
We love Ronnie.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about hoarding. Matt, who cleans up after the hoarders, called in, and Gary, Ronnie, really everyone had stories about how they or their moms hoard, and this is how that conversation went.
We learned a lot about hoarding today and the perils of hoarding, and we're going to dig in here and see who, besides Gary's mom and Ronnie's mom, falls into that category of major hoarder. Well, let's start off, though, with Matt Paxton, who called in. He cleans up after the hoarders that you see on the show, on the A&E show, and we were all glued to our radios because he just had one experience after the other in terms of grossness and what he's got to deal with.
Yeah, I got to throw this one totally to Will. We all got the email, and I looked at it, and I was like, I didn't really see what the guest could be in it. And then Will hit me back, and he goes, "I'll bet you he's got some great stories. Let me pre-interview him." And then, when he came back with the oozing gooey cats,
Yes.
that's when I knew he'd be a good guest. But he was good on the air too.
I thought he was very good, but and that was some nasty stuff, Will, that we heard about.
Yeah, it was great. Benji said I don't know about the guy, and I pre-interviewed him, and he had an amazing story. I mean, all you got to hear is 45,000 pounds of poop in somebody's house, and, I'm hooked right there.
I thought that, to me, the line of the day was when he was talking about all the bugs in that one house, and he said, yeah, we were putting cotton in our ears and sealing up our assholes.
Tape their assholes shut.
I mean, imagine that's what you do for a living, and you're laying in bed one night and a bug crawls out of your ass.
It's like being in High Pitch Mike's house.
He did say recovering addicts, though, enjoy the job. I guess there's a new thrill every day. You're dealing with hazardous crap like that.
And that's a whole other thing that I thought was really interesting about him. Forget about the cleanup part. The fact that he hires convicts, ex-convicts, and he says he had a great line that he goes, "I like them when they're right on the line. Like if they sneeze, they could go back to jail. Those are the kind I like."
Now, do you think that, does it surprise you, one, how much money he makes doing it, and...
He doesn't make enough money.
No, I think he's underpaid, but when he said that the hoarding provides a wall of safety for the people who do it, do you believe that? I mean, do you think that's why people do it? I mean, was that why your mom did it?
Yeah, my mom wasn't good enough to be on the show by any stretch of the imagination. She was like a hoarder, like on a lower level. But no, she was more collecting stuff that she really thought she was going to get to. She really felt that she was going to utilize the stuff. The people who are behind a wall, that's a whole other area, and I don't know what they're thinking.
Now, do you collect stuff? I know you collect stuff,
I do.
But are you a hoarder? Would you could classify yourself as a hoarder?
I'm not a hoarder, but I am a collector. And I do collect stuff, and I'm not talking about I collect animation cells and I collect sports memorabilia. I have piles of shit around my house. I just cleaned up the other day. I had a closet full of electronics equipment that I was sure I was going to use one day that's valuable. And I looked at it the other day and I go, you know what? This is all. I have stuff that doesn't even have HDMI inputs on them anymore. So I have everything in a big pile, and I'm getting rid of them this weekend.
Will you get rid of it? Or
I will. Although I do have to say, I pulled it out of the closet 2 weeks ago, so it's moved to I'm going to get rid of it, but it's not that easy to just take it and get rid of it. So I do have a little bit of that in me. I have to move it from A to B and then finally to the dump.
And what about Mary? Does she keep stuff or she wants to get rid of it right away?
Get rid of it all.
Yeah,
too much shit. Get rid of it.
That's the same with me and Deb. I'll want to keep everything and she'll just want to get rid of it. What about you, Will? You hoarding a lot of stuff in that New Jersey house?
No, not at all. If I don't use something for a few months, I'm ready to get rid of it. Pretty good about that.
Did you see on CBS Sunday Morning this past weekend, they showed a guy that works on the show, and he's like us. He's got a basement full of shit. So it turns out that in all of this crap that he's got McDonald's toys from the 80s that are still in the package and keeps telling his wife they're valuable, he had, turns out, Billy Bean's Mud Hens jersey. So that's valuable. So now he's convinced his wife because he found one valuable thing in the pile of shit that they can't throw anything away.
Who do you think the worst hoarder is around here, just in terms of their office space? Who keeps the most stuff laying around?
Well, Benji, when Benji did what Will used to do, I never really questioned him on how he did it, but he had lots of envelopes coming out of it. It didn't seem like there was a system at all, and there was just a lot of paper. So I think he's probably a bit of a hoarder.
Yeah, I definitely have hoarding tendencies for and it's for two things. It's either anything with potential value. I'll have 4 tubes of toothpaste, and if there's still a little bit left, oh wow, I gotta finish this. I gotta finish it. And the other thing is anything potentially sentimental or that like leads to a memory, it's very hard. And that can be a shirt. That can be a T-shirt. It's very hard to just throw it. I love when something's absolutely destroyed and I can throw it out and not have any feelings towards it.
I have a Bruce Springsteen shirt from the River Tour that I washed once and now wouldn't fit on a 7-year-old, and I won't throw it away.
Yeah, because it means something to you.
Well, I think I'm going to sell it on eBay, but I went on eBay and it's completely fucking worthless. And at one point, I tried to make one of my kids wear it. They looked at it and they go, I'm not wearing that.
Atif, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yes, good morning. I have a quick question. I was on hold when Matt was on Stern, but he never got to my call. And I'm really curious, and maybe one of you guys can answer the question, how does hoarding equate to filth? You know, like I understand hoarding is saving a lot of things or collecting a lot of items, but why are hoarders so dirty? Like the houses, they don't have water. Like the guy said, they crap in the blankets and piss in bottles. What is that all about?
I can tell you this much: with my mother and the guy I was talking about, my friend's father with all the Maxwell House coffee cans, and even Ronnie seemed to say the same thing. They weren't dirty. They collected stuff. They hadn't gotten to that next level. Like my mom was very clean, and if she found something that was like dirt, always won out over hoarding. If she would have found where the boxes were, and there was like mouse droppings there, she just would have thrown it all away.
My guess is like the guy who's talking about that has shit, feces literally all over his house. My guess is that's not a hoarder. That's just like because I bet there are not people that are saying, oh my God, you can't take away my feces. Like I might need this for something, or I'll forget something.
They're just a casualty almost.
I would think of something else.
You know who the original hoarders were? Remember that movie Grey Gardens? Those people that were the Jackie Kennedys. They had this house in the Hamptons. It was this beautiful house, and you couldn't. I don't know if you ever saw the movie, but like newspapers piled to the ceiling. Al Goldstein was a big hoarder. I went to his apartment once. He opened up a room, and it was all pieces of watches that he was working on repairing, but there was no sense to it at all. And it was a room that had been rendered useless because of all the shit he had put in it.
And is that the two New York brothers you were talking about? I was reading about them. They're like the famous hoarders. One was crushed to death by scrap in his place, and the other one literally could not get out of the apartment and starved to death.
That's crazy. That's a whole other place.
Thanks for calling in, Atif. Mike in Illinois, you're on the wrap-up show.
How we doing this morning, guys?
Good, Mike. What's on your mind?
Hey, Gary, I was just wanting to know, there's difference between a hoarder and a pack rat. I mean, I'm a pack rat. My house don't look like what the hoarders do. You know, I keep a clean house and stuff like that, but I'm constantly keeping a hold of stuff because I always think that I'm going to use it, and my mentality is the minute I throw it away, the next day I'm going to need it for something.
I think a pack rat, I thought my mother was a pack rat. To me, a pack rat is a hoarder in training.
Okay.
It's like the minor leagues of hoarding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm getting at. I mean, with you, you say you got the electronic stuff. That's more of a pack rat type deal.
Well, yeah, except for the fact that I can't get rid of it. I mentally can't get rid of it.
Now, with the people around here, we talked about Benji a little bit, but the two names that kept coming up in the back were JD and Scott Salem. Now, maybe that's because they have their own spaces and they can put stuff in. I know JD, and Robin was the third one with her extra office or annex or whatever it's called.
We should look in there, by the way, and see what it's become. I had that thing bare bones. I'm curious what it's become.
But do you think any of them have hoarding tendencies? But JD's got a lot of stuff in his little room there.
JD's not a hoarder. He's messy, which is a difference. He doesn't like to save stuff. He's just too lazy to throw it away. I don't think JD's very attached to any of that junk in his office.
Now, how does this translate to people's homes? Like Benji, you've talked about your apartment used to be. I don't know if it still is.
It's not. It's much. I've gotten much better. Like New York kind of forces you to get, like to not to be. It's
You're saying you're better since you moved to New York? Because I went to your apartment once and it was pretty hoardish.
Oh, really?
It was like boxes and boxes of his. That's what he does. He saves his jokes that he writes on the show.
Yeah,
right. And there were literally maybe like 6 to 7 boxes piled on top of each other.
Oh, it got to the point of like there's 60, 70 boxes.
I'm saying, all over the apartment. There was little mazes to get around.
But is there any order to it? Because if there's no order to it, then it's useless.
Not a lot of order.
Like I told you, Jackie had his in loose leaf notebooks, and he could go and tell you jokes he wrote on the day that so and so was here. whereas Benji just seems to have them piled up to the
No,
ceiling.
and they're pieces of paper that say like toothbrush on.
Right.
And they're meaningless.
See, I got the jokes.
Oh, you like that one?
But that's what Stuttering John had a drawer full of his jokes that were like that, and he went to go ask Tom for a raise, and he just pulled out the stack of papers that were all over the place and threw them on Tom's desk, and goes, "These are the jokes." Or Tom picks up a piece of paper and it says hairbrush.
Yeah,
it's like I don't even know what this is.
Ronnie, you experienced this firsthand with your mom, and are you a hoarder yourself? Do you hold on to
No,
that stuff?
absolutely not.
Because of what you experienced with your mom, or you've
Exactly.
always been...
Dude, this was one of the worst experiences, probably one of the most experiences of my life, cleaning out that house.
Why was it so traumatic for you?
Because it was, what happened was, like I said on the air earlier, my mother had gone in for surgery. And when she had gone in for surgery, I had cleaned the house out once. And by the time, like 4 or 5 years later, when she passed away, dude, I mean, it was worse than the first time I cleaned it out. It was insane.
What made it so insane?
Just all the boxes and the containers. And what I never got to, after the second part of the journey of the cleanup, she became obsessed with QVC. I had so much. I could have opened up Joan Rivers jewelry store. I'm not kidding you. I took, no lie, 5 boxes of QVC jewelry.
What'd you do with it?
I donated it to like a charity thing, and it was all costume jewelry and shit. But still, it was insane.
She was addicted to QVC.
She got it after I stopped her from hoarding, I guess, containers and stuff. She started with the QVC thing, and every time I saw her, she would have 15 rings on. And then she started with like these Indian bracelets, and then it was the Joan Rivers stuff, the watches, the bracelets, the necklaces. She just went from one thing to another.
Yeah, the really sad part when I cleaned out my mother's house was I called all my buddies over, and I said, "Listen, I got to get this done in a weekend. Can you give me a hand?" So we ordered this giant dumpster, and I'd even sort of hid it from my friends to some degree how bad it was. So they thought it would be fun when we were taking all the stuff out. Every time we went by with something, my mother was grabbing it from them, like, no, you can't take that. And so they would take out something that was glass, because we had this empty dumpster. They thought it would be fun to just throw it in the dumpster and hear it break. And every time it broke, my mother's whole body would shake, and she would start to sob uncontrollably. And I called the guys in the basement. I was like, "Guys, can you just lay it down, please?" They just thought they were having fun, but it was killing her.
And when you guys were going through the house, I mean, it had to be heartbreaking, I would think. Even though that stuff didn't mean anything to you, there had to be something you associated.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of stuff. I mean, clothes. Forget about it. She'd buy clothes that still had tags on them, never wore them.
That's right. Seeing old stuff that still had the price on it that was brand new but 15 years old was the weirdest thing. Stuff that they'd bought and never used. Just a waste.
Did you find any of your old stuff in the house? Like, did she hold on to any memories of you or things you had?
Like pictures and stuff like that, but nothing else. Because when I moved out, I took all my stuff. But like Gary said, he got a dumpster. I could, in the development where she lived in the garden department development, you couldn't get a dumpster. So I had these guys, one of these junk companies, come with a 12-yard truck, dump truck. They had to make 3 trips, 3 full trucks.
Wow.
I will also say that when my mother, when we were selling the house, when we were cleaning up, my mother claimed she'd spent 2 months cleaning the house to get ready for this tag sale. And I told the story on the air. A fan comes over. He didn't, it wasn't advertised, but when the guy came over, he recognized me, and I had to chase him out to his car. He had bought all of my school pictures from grade 1 through 6 and a bunch of my report cards. And I was like, "Dude, those are mine." I said, "Mom, I thought you cleaned up. This is like all my shit here."
How much were your photos going for?
I don't know, but I got it back, which I have them now, which would have bummed me out. It's fun to have my school photos. I show them to my kids.
Well, not only that, but in this day and age, there would have been a whole Gary and high school webpage put out with all your pictures plastered
The classic
everywhere.
story we talked about the next day, the guy called in. There used to be this little thing, a lot of families had it. It was like, you put it on your wall, it was like a dog house. It was flat, and everybody's name was in it. Whenever anybody did something bad, you'd put the dog in the doghouse. And the guy called up on Monday to say that he bought it. It said Mom, Dad, Steven, Anthony, Gary. It's fucking embarrassing.
Did your mom put those out to sell, or someone a company came through and just priced everything?
No company came through. My mother just put everything out, and people just started grabbing shit.
Oh, just like unclassified boxes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I said, "Mom, you cleaned up?" She goes, "Yeah, I did." Guy opens up a box. There's all my shit.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
I'm Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey, and on Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about Warren Sapp, NFL legend. He came in here, he talked about a variety of things. He talked about what it's like to have sex and how he can't hold out that long. But then we talked about some football stuff, too. Had a great moment where we talked about what it's like to sack the quarterback. Anyway, here's what happened on the wrap-up show.
I want to start off with Warren Sapp. Gary, before he came in, I was talking about it's always great when Howard interviews a football player, a professional sports player, because he doesn't really follow it, yet you end up hearing more and learning more about the athlete than you ever knew before.
The thing that makes Howard great with athletes is because he doesn't know a lot about sports, there's no hero worship. So it's not, oh my God, Warren Sapp here. So Howard's like, oh, there's a football player here that people say is pretty good, and he seems very interesting. So there's none of that like, oh my God, I saw you when you were in Miami, I saw you at the Super Bowl. So all that shit goes out the window. So all the interviews you've heard Warren Sapp do, this one's already different.
Do you think Warren is an angry guy?
I thought that the interview was contentious in a funny way.
What do you mean?
I mean that there were times where Warren seemed irritated by Howard, but because Howard didn't seem to have his facts right. And I mean, I never thought it was going to, come to anything, but he was like he was sort of mixing it up with Howard, not taking any shit from him.
Yeah, and I thought that made him an interesting guest.
Absolutely.
But do you remember that draft when he was just plummeting in the NFL and eventually got picked by Tampa?
Vaguely. Who was the number one pick in that draft?
Oh, God, I don't know. It was 95? I don't remember. Will, you should probably come down with that. But I do know. I know that's the year the Jets took Kyle Brady before Warren Sapp.
Yes, of course. But I do have a major.
John Carter. That's who it was.
I have a major connection with Warren. We were talking about today. He and I did Hollywood Squares together, and we spent the whole day together. And at the time, this had to be like 99, 2000 or something like that. And he gave me a cell phone number. He said, "I really want to do Howard Stern show." After we went to break, he got up and he said, "There's only two people I've ever wanted to be on this show. You and Letterman." And now I've done that. So he had given me his number, and I called him a bunch of times trying to get him on the show. It just never worked out.
I'm glad he came on today. Scott in Mississippi, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, John, how's it going?
Good, Scott. What's on your mind?
It's I'm glad Gary brought up the bounty scandal with the New Orleans Saints with him because, for a guy that says that he had a conspiracy theory on his draft pick, he sure does, and how people make up evidence. He sure didn't have a whole lot of opinion on that whenever he brought it up.
Well, I brought it up, and he said that he had a source that told him that Jeremy Shockey was a whistleblower. That was it. What's the conspiracy theory?
Well, the fact that the NFL hadn't brought out any evidence against the Saints, except for like 200 pages that they claimed to have 5,000, and he just didn't have a whole lot of opinion on the bounty scandal in general. Just the fact that he had
we didn't ask him whether we thought it was wrong or right. He basically said, "I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I don't need $1,000 isn't going to make me hit a guy any harder."
Which I thought was interesting. Like that is why are people offended by it? Was it the hit to injure somebody?
Yeah, right. In other words, you're giving somebody money if you can knock somebody out of a game. And even though football is an incredibly violent game, and even though people get hurt all the time, to say that you're going out there, I mean, I guess you could say, I'm going out there and I'm going to, play my best, but you can't say I'm going to go out there and,
so the bounty wasn't just for a tackle, allegedly. It was for an actual injury?
It could be for a variety. If you knock a guy out.
If you knock somebody out of the game, you'd get X amount of dollars.
If a guy limps off the field, whatever it is, that sort of thing.
But, yeah, Warren made it very clear. He was like, look, the money's nothing at that point because they're all doing very well in the NFL. And I thought with Shockey, he said he had a source and that was it and kind of wanted to move off of that.
I will wonder, because Warren works for the NFL, right?
Right. Well,
he works for NFL Network now.
He was on NFL Network and he's on a show on Showtime called Inside the NFL, which I believe the NFL controls pretty well too, right?
He's not on Inside the NFL anymore.
But I'm saying, when I brought it up, he said, I'm on the NFL Network. He goes, he said it when he was on the NFL Network, but he got thrown off the show he didn't say it on.
Right.
That's the show he got tossed off of. But I thought I thought there was a lot of very interesting insight into football today. He kept bringing up the point, like, I play for pleasure on Sunday. It's the other 6 days they pay me. He goes, I go out there, that's pleasure. And his description of what it's like to beat a tackle and get to the quarterback and put him down, I thought was amazing.
Did you think he was going to be a bigger guy? I guess you had met him before, though.
And I think when I met him, he was a bigger guy.
Yeah. Well, he said he came out of high school.
Down.
He was 225 in high school, and he was over 300 when he was playing pro.
Right.
I mean, but he said he's smaller, but he was fast, and that's really why he was such an exceptional.
Well, and he made the joke, which I don't think Howard got. He goes, I think I'm gonna. He goes, I feel like I'm a big guy with a safety.
Safety, yeah.
Did you guys understand what he said? What he was saying that would have been a motivation for making up drug reports about him?
No, I don't think.
No.
Nobody understood what he had a conspiracy theory.
He said there was 2 new teams.
He said Jacksonville and Carolina were the expansion teams he was talking about.
Right.
And he said, but he never explained what the reason would be.
Like why would help someone if he wasn't?
Well, he said that there had to be an explanation why one of those teams didn't take him.
Right.
But I don't know who would be behind that. So does it mean that neither one of those teams wanted him, so they colluded to have him lower so it didn't look bad for them?
I couldn't figure it out. I mean, in Jacksonville took Baselli and Carolina took Kerry Collins. So who knows? The bottom line is Tampa had a great draft, and they ended up winning the Super Bowl a few years later. Bobby in Jersey, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, now. How are you guys?
Hey, Bobby.
This is like a recurring theme that I listen, avid listener. Howard always talks about kind of prematurely going, he can't hold his own sexually. And today Warren said the same thing. It baffles my mind that men that have been having sex for so long, still can't hold off. I don't know. It's weird to me that someone, even like Warren, who's had so many people in his life, still will admit to something like premature ejaculation. It's just very odd. I wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I fall more into their category, and I do feel really immature about it. But then I guess there's a part of me that says I still get excited. And that's a good thing.
Right.
It's better than being not being able to, I would be much more embarrassed not to be able to get an erection.
I think when Dax and Bradley were in there, they talked about that too. Do you remember Benji who said that? Anybody who says they're going an hour, it's just not true.
Or I think Dax was saying that it's not like women, guys who don't understand women, that women don't want it that long.
I've heard women say, not porn women, but women that I know say, you don't want a guy fucking you for an hour. That's just ridiculous. And it's like, get on with it already.
But every time I think, okay, this is the time. This is the time I'm gonna make it last. I'm gonna and then. Do
you ever have one of those where you're just doing so well, and then as soon as you tell yourself you're doing well, that's the end of
it? Jeff in Pittsburgh, you're on the wrap-up show.
That's what I'm saying. That was a great interview. It was one of those interviews where you felt like 3 guys sitting around a kitchen table with a woman in the background being robbed, and it just turned out to be a great interview, man.
Yeah, it was really good. And by the way, you really need to see it on Howard TV because Will came over and he'll attest to this. Some of the faces that Warren was making, there was one time where Howard was talking about something and he had this complete look of shock, and then he would have a look of anger. It was just he was making really funny faces.
Hey, it's Richie Wilson. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, there was a big discussion on who was omitted from my wedding invite list. A couple of guys from the radio side were a little pissed off. Lisa G wouldn't come down. And I think it all worked out well in the end because I defended myself and I explained why I cut those people off the list. So, check it out.
We're going to get into Richie Wilson's wedding list. Some people left off. Some people, only actually 4 or 5 left off, mostly everybody included. I think on this show, the only way, not the only way, but almost the only way you find out how someone really feels about you is when these situations occur.
Well, I got a question for Richie. Did you see this bit coming?
Oh, yeah. You knew it was inevitable.
Right.
And when you're in it, Richie, I mean, you said yourself, you're black and white. This is how you stand. If someone doesn't like you, you want to know. And I'm sure you feel the same way. If you don't like somebody, you're going to let them know.
They know.
So did any of this come as a surprise to anybody today?
Richie does let people know,
yes,
right?
He does.
Where there are a lot of people here who
I mean, with everything, if I like a restaurant, if I like a movie, if I like this,
it's different
yes
with people.
No, but it's yes and no. I'm not going to
people aren't restaurants.
But I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass or up anybody's ass and be smiling to their face and then not like them or talk shit behind their back.
I think that the one thing I would disagree with you about today is when you said it's black and white. It really isn't black and white. In other words, there's people that I like here, and there's people that I like more than others here. And the people that I don't like as much as others doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means I haven't gotten to know them as well. And so there's a lot. It's not black and white. I don't either love someone or hate someone. There is a middle ground.
There is. Okay, then there's like, indifferent, and don't like.
Well, no, there's like a little bit more. It's not like, indifferent, and hate.
But
I mean, it is to you,
okay,
maybe.
like Steve Bernardo. I like Steve. I am very fond of Steve. But I think we have maybe 4 words a year to each other.
But okay,
you know what I mean?
But
So, and I like Steve.
But you got to the point where there were 5 people.
Actually, no. There's more. There's more. Ralph's not on the list.
Is Tracy?
Millman, yes, because Rachel and Tracy hang out a lot off the air with Richard, Christie's wife, and all those girls. Those girls hang out.
I totally understand me being off the list. Totally get that. I was surprised at Will and Steve because it just seems a little glaring. But I think that having done this, it's always glaring when you leave somebody off.
Yeah, Will, you seem surprised in the sense that not that you were left off, but like Jason and other people were included.
Yeah, no, I did not expect to be invited to the wedding, but then when I saw that everybody else was invited, I go, okay, this is a message that he doesn't like you.
No, I like Will. There has to
just
be
not enough to invite him.
Cutoff line at some point. Like, okay, why wasn't I invited to your wedding?
I invited probably 3 guys from Howard TV. I didn't invite anybody from our news department.
That's all he invited from your office. 3
What
guys.
do you mean?
He invited John, Jason,
Scott the engineer,
Scott, JD,
all the on-air people.
Tracy. Basically, all the people that his wife had a relationship. Did you invite anyone from the office that you wanted there?
Initially, the whole horseshoe, I was going to say no as a whole to.
What's a horseshoe?
The whole
The bullpen?
area. Yeah, no as a whole to.
Right.
And Rachel was like, listen, I want John there. I've had a relationship with John. John's a great guy. I want him there. And then I said, okay, anybody else? And she said, Jason. I emailed Jason a lot. Every time I see him, we have a great time together. I want Jason there. And I said, great.
Jason, good friends.
Yeah, I was sort of surprised by that too.
Every time she's up here, they get like a little chatter group going.
Howard,
the 2 of them.
Rachel Fine, Richie Wilson. I like her. She helps me out with the website. We talk dipping sauces all the time. She actually. I went to go see her last year sing in the city, and actually I think that made Richie and I better friends because then we found out we both watched the same TV shows, and you know.
And
so what's your relationship with Benji? Because Benji's always the wild card.
See, it's interesting. This is going to be fun. Benji got an invite without a +1. Benji got a solo invite.
because I date Rachel.
No, Benji, is that insulting to you in any way?
Well, yeah, because I have a girlfriend, and that's a serious girlfriend.
And I'll be honest about that.
You don't want? Is it specifically
I'll tell
you don't
exactly
want her
why.
there?
We had 3 interactions with Elisa. 2 of them were extremely unpleasant.
Well,
do you know about that?
Well, when I didn't get a +1.
And
I
we also don't
assumed
want the
it was a
Benji.
slight-
We don't want the Benji and Elisa show.
But Benji, did you know that there were 2 unpleasant interactions with your girlfriend and Rachel and Richie?
I don't know. If you want to, I don't know.
The first one was the night you brought her to Rick's to introduce her to a bunch of people, and she was very cold and rude to everybody there that night. And the second one was the Christmas party where she was just extremely rude to everybody.
Well, she was weird. I don't know that she was rude. She was odd.
No, but like when people said hello, it was hi and gave out like the. Like the bent hand.
Yeah, but she was. I look at her. She was under the hypnotic shtick coma of
she
Benji.
was in shtick coma.
Well, I wasn't gonna make a big deal, but when I didn't get a +1, I wasn't gonna go because I took that as a intentional.
And we figured that you were not going to come.
That's the best invite ever. So if I never been, he won't come.
So it was intentional.
No, but we figured we didn't want Elisa there. But we figured if we did that, Benji wasn't going to come. But we like Benji, and we wanted to invite Benji, but we knew.
But I think I don't know. You're being very insulting to my girlfriend, who is a wonderful person. And if you don't like her, that's fine.
I'm just going by the interactions I've had. They've been unpleasant.
But you realize it's hard to split a couple up. In other words,
I know.
You would be insulted if you were invited and someone said they didn't want Rachel.
If Benji got invited myself and not Rachel, I wouldn't go either.
All right. I do want to talk about one other thing because the thing that I found most interesting this morning, like I said, I did not expect to be invited. When he said why Will wasn't invited, he had, I thought, a fairly reasonable explanation. Same for Steve. But Lisa G, flat out, you just don't like Lisa G.
No, she's a dud. Come on. You want somebody that was going to be fun. And we listen, in the past, especially in the past few months with the way she's been on the show, with her whole, she wants to be paid for everything. She just let.
But are you basing this on the show or a personal relationship?
Both. She leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Right, so you don't like her.
Yeah, pretty much, and she and she knows that. It's.
Does she? I get the impression when I saw her today that she might have learned it for the first time.
Oh no, she knows.
This came as a surprise to Lisa?
I think so. I went back to the office because I dropped off a piece of paper, and I just I said, "Were you surprised?" She's like, "A little."
Tim Sabian, are you offended that you're one of the few who are not invited to the Wilson Fine affair?
Well, Richie and I have known each other for a while, and I didn't really expect to be invited. I love Richie. I have no problems with him. I think we get along great, and we're just not. We don't hang out afterwards. If we hang out, it's comfortable. But we just don't spend a lot of time.
I will tell you this, Richie.
I would invite Tim. If I spend more time with Tim, he'd be on there in a second.
By the way, I honestly
he's out of control.
think a lot of Richie's stuff. I think there's a lot of jealousy against my girlfriend. I think Rachel is threatened by my girlfriend and jealous.
Not at all.
And I like Rachel
and
a
not
lot.
Not at all threatened or
Don't worry
jealous.
about it, Richie. Tim won't go anyway.
Two of the encounters I found jealousy, and one I found pleasant.
No, we're doing the Benji shtick.
Steve.
I'm not going to get into that.
No, I'm telling you, girls are very jealous of my girlfriend because she's very hot, and it makes a lot of girls very jealous.
Steve, very hot. I know you were wondering, why are you on this list?
I'll say this with people in this room, and I don't know how that goes, but I was not expecting to get invited to Richie's wedding, and what he said on the air is what I would expect. The problem is I know there's been contention with Gary in the past. Even Will, and there's been friction with Will and Richie, and I know that he doesn't like Lisa G. So with that math, that's what worries me, because then I'm either.
No, you're the exception. You're okay,
but then by that,
your point. I understand your point.
Okay, all right. Because everybody else, like he said, if Lieberman's going and Scott and JD and blah blah blah. And
I mean, Lieberman's only been here for 9 months.
Yeah, so then I was just the guy that got left off, which it wouldn't be the first time. So
but I also interact with Lieberman a lot more, and Rob Martin I work with all the time, and I hang out.
You work with everyone here all the time.
But I hang out with Rob. Rob and I are friends.
When you say you hang out, where do you guys hang out? What would you do?
Drinking. We go out to bars. I set him up on a date with a friend of mine.
Wait, hold on, guys. Will, what do you want to say?
No, I was just going to say, you can be honest. If it's because you don't like me, I know you say you don't like Gary, then that's fine. But I just wish you would say that rather than.
Right, you say you would tell somebody. So I want you to tell them.
Will. I like you. I don't know what the problem is. I like you.
Well, we also heard the comment too that it was very black and white. Right, that's what worries me too. How could that be?
If I like you, I don't like you, and I like you, Will. I don't. Right. I mean, I do. I like you a lot. and I mean, there was that one time where you may have thought I was being cold, and you called me out on it, and it really made me say, "Oh shit, maybe I was being a little off to Will," and I felt bad about it. All right, and I made a conscious effort not to, because I like you.
Did the because you like Steve? Do people in different groups if Steve's rank of if someone in the TV room, would they have to have the same? If they had the same rank of
TV guys not invited to the
No. What I'm saying is,
who are the Howard TV guys?
Is the threshold of for Steve the same as someone in the Howard TV room, or do you have different?
But I also spend a lot more time with the Howard TV guys than I do with Steve.
So it is safe to say that you like me more than some of the guys that are invited that work for Howard TV.
No, Howard TV. A lot of Howard TV guys aren't invited. The only Howard TV guys that are coming, like the guys I've been around with.
Is Phelan coming?
Oh, yeah. I've known Phelan for 15 years.
So Phelan and Ganji.
Exactly.
I think what Steve is saying is there anyone from the Howard TV room that you invited because you worked alongside them for so long that maybe you actually like Steve better?
No, there's nobody that got an invite just because I worked with them for a long time.
You don't like me, then. That's
I like Steve. No, everybody from Howard TV that I invited are people that I either have worked with for years or I've hung out with outside of work for a lot of.
I will give you one piece of small advice if you want to hear it. Just having been down this road myself. Not inviting somebody as high a caliber as Tim, but inviting their right arm, which I'm assuming McClure's invited, right?
Because Liza and Rachel are very good friends.
Big mistake. For whatever reason, sometimes there were people invited to my wedding that had to be invited. It's just the way life works.
But it's our wedding.
I got it. It was my wedding too.
Wedding.
No, I got it, and I'm just saying.
We should be able to invite who we want.
You will, and you may pay the price for it down the road.
Okay.
One last question: how did Tabitha Stevens make the cut?
Exactly.
Because Tabitha
That's insulting.
and I have been friends for years. We email, we text. We're always in contact with each other.
Isn't it fun making lists, Richie?
I know.
Oh yeah.
And I sympathize on that level.
You went through this.
It's obnoxious, but and then the best part is a year from now, the list could be completely different.
That's right.
Exactly. And you know what? In 10 years, we'll probably look at those pictures and go, "Who the fuck is that person?"
I just celebrated my 20th anniversary. And I turned around to Mary and I go, what the fuck was her name? And Mary's I couldn't remember. And I was like, what was that guy's name? Remember, we were such good friends with him and his girlfriend, and we couldn't remember their names.
Why isn't Steve Brandano in any of these photos?
20 years ago, you're going to look back at those photos and go, wow, remember when Jason was skinny? That's going to be scary. That's going to be scary. Hey, another tip. Tim writes a mean check. So, if there is an open spot.
But, like, there must have been people you invited that you knew you had to invite when it comes to, like, family. You had to invite some. You're telling me.
Well, my family is very small. You can fit.
Right, but I'm saying there's cousins and aunts and uncles that you know this, right? You have 100%. To invite them, and you invite them, and you're sitting there going, I can't believe I have to have my fucking cousins from wherever when there's a friend at work I'd rather have. But that's just the way it goes.
I had a section of the room devoted to people I didn't want at my wedding. It was like 3 tables in the back left corner. If you were sitting there, that's like the Scott Salem section of the. Not at my wedding, the Scott Salem section, but general. Right. We call the Scott Salem section the place where the duds section.
Right, I know what you're saying.
I
was at that table at Howard's wedding, right next to Scott Salem.
Oh, I know you guys were bitter about that. Who was at the table? Was you and Jason at Scott Salem?
No, not me. I had prime real estate.
Jason had a different table.
So who were you at the table? You and Scott Salem, Haji,
Phelan,
the kid with one leg.
I don't even know if I want to get into names who are at the table, but
Will
you can definitely tell you're on the potpourri table.
Will was in a different restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Well then,
Ken, you're on the wrap-up show.
As far as Lisa's concerned, Richie, you couldn't have made a clearer statement. I mean, you said, Gary and I have had some run-ins. You said, Steve and I don't hang out. You said Will didn't invite me to his wedding, but you just flat out said, would you invite her?
When you're making a list, again, as somebody else speaking from experience, like what happens is, for me anyway, you go over and then you start looking for what are quote-unquote the easier cuts. And, a guy like, Lisa G, where, hey, if you had an endless budget and an endless party, sure, she's on the list, but okay, you got to start making cuts.
I don't think she would be on Richie's list.
Well, maybe
not.
Yeah, like in other words, if the room were 250, Lisa and I still ain't coming, correct?
You would.
Wow.
See?
But I feel honored and bad for Lisa.
Here's the thing.
We should try and get Lisa.
The place holds 150. We invited 200.
Right.
And we're hoping that a lot of people cancel, and they're actually coming.
Right.
So we could be seriously fucked.
Oh, we used to. My running joke was when you get the card pack from somebody that's not coming, it's like ka-ching. It's
gold,
like you're making money.
We purposely invited people. Rachel has relatives in Australia and England, so they're the ones that we knew weren't going to come, so we had to invite them
coming?
anyway, and now they're coming. So we're like, oh, shit.
Quick question, like in the tournament, the basketball college tournament, it's last 4 in, last 4 out. So we're on that last 4 out list. So
maybe
I'm just trying to figure out where that line was. Who like, were you putting Jason and I together and saying, all right, one of these guys can't make it? Here's the upside and downside on both of them?
I wasn't doing that. I was just like, okay, is there anybody that we didn't invite? And Rachel was like, I like John and Jason a lot. And I was like, well, then it is everybody in that whole general bullpen area.
She said, fuck
then. And yeah, she said, fuck those guys. I hate them.
I mean, I was clearly, and I'm thrilled to be going. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. You're my boy.
Regret that
but, I got an email from Richie about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, man, what's your address? And I figured that it was for the wedding. So that just proves, I wasn't on the early draft of the wedding list. So that just proves I came in later. And by the way, I did crunch the numbers. Richie would have to get married in Giant Stadium for Lisa G to be invited to the wedding.
What did you guys think of Fred's reaction today when the save the date came up?
I understood what Howard was saying. And again, I think Fred reacted a little too quickly. If you get a save the date card, I would say that that's a really good shot that you're invited. So when he said, I don't know if I'm invited, he could have even said, I think Fred, if he would have said, I got to save the date card. And Howard goes, oh, and that would have been it. But he goes, well, I'm not sure if I'm invited. And Howard goes, well, you either got an invitation or you didn't. It's a miscommunication, and Howard loves to exploit that.
I have a feeling that Fred didn't know if the invitation came.
Well, it may not have.
Actually,
but it might have, and he might have not even known that Allison might have got it and never even mentioned it to him yet.
Before Rich even speaks, here's another thing, John. I don't know if you remember when you get married. Did you send your invitations out in waves?
I'm trying to remember.
Like first wave, you wait a week, you see what comes back. Second wave, I think we had a first wave and a second wave. Is my small recollection of that.
I think we sent them all out in one shot, like family and friends. But we had, like Richie was saying, we knew, or at least we thought, some people weren't going to come.
Right. I think we waited to make sure some people weren't going to come to send out the second wave. Is my vague recollection. You sent yours all out at once?
Well, a week apart. Not.
But why a week apart?
Just that we had to get those stinky heart stamps we had to buy more of and all that.
But it had
stuff.
nothing to do with
nothing like aid.
There was no hierarchy.
No. They all just. Fred by the time he got to save the date and the invite was mailed, he moved. And that's what happened.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, within like a 3-month time span.
John and Glenhead, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hello?
Hey, John.
Hey, how are you? Hey, Gary, it's John from the Vineyard.
Hey, John, what's up?
How are you? 2 quick points. Number one, I've been in the Mr. Munt's company many a times, Ronnie. I'm tired of people picking on him. He's such a gentleman and such a great guy. That's the one thing I want to pick on. And then the second thing is, Richie, how classless of a move to not invite Mrs. Jordana to the wedding and put poor Benji in this situation. And those of you that are friends with Mr. Wilson, you should really think about his character and what type of person he is, because I wouldn't want to be friends with a guy like that.
Wow.
That's why you're not my friend.
No, I know, but it's...
John happens to be a nice guy, but I don't know why he's picking on you, man.
I don't care.
He doesn't like you.
That's fine.
I like you, John.
It probably would have been better to either all in on Benji or not at all.
You're right. You're 100% right. In hindsight, you're 100% right on that.
See, Richie and I agree on some stuff.
Yeah, we have moments.
Are you hurt?
He's awful quiet. He must be hurt.
No, well, it's kind of. I don't like when people take shots at my girlfriend. I think, like I said, I think it's out of jealousy. She's much hotter than the average girl here, and she's much more talented. And I think there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of fear of that.
There isn't, Benji, I'll tell you right now to your face. There isn't jealousy. When the night...
I'm jealous of her.
The night that we first met her at Rick's, Ronnie was there. Was a general consensus that she was not a nice person the night everybody met her.
Yeah, everybody thought she was a snot.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
Because she doesn't lay all over you guys.
No.
Sorry, you know?
No, it wasn't lay all over. It was hello, I am, and it was an attitude.
And
it was an attitude
she's
back.
shy. She's
and
a little
then the next
shy.
night
She's
at the Christmas
quiet.
party, the next time at the Christmas party, which was discussed about on the air big time, that a lot of people had problems with her.
Well, that's. I mean, you guys. I think
And
you
if
guys
that's
expect
her way of
girls,
coming across,
You
maybe
guys
she was
expect
shy.
a certain type of girl.
No.
She's a little bit classier, a little bit brighter, a little bit more talented, and that's what happened.
Then who? Then like my wife, as a for instance?
Than me.
Oh,
okay. Understand.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do moving forward now? Are you going to invite anybody who's not invited?
Well,
Are
see,
you gonna
to me, that's even a more obnoxious slap in the face thing. Just more condescending to say, "Oh, Gary, here's your invite anyway."
Well, I mean, you could say
would you
could
take that as like, what the fuck? I'm an afterthought or something like that.
Listen, again, I'm not expecting.
No, I'm saying,
but it could if you came to me and you said, you know what, I thought about this, and we've had our differences in the past, but I would like to try to put it behind us. So I'd like to invite you. That I would understand. But if you just said, here's an invitation, that just came in the mail, that'd be
do you
weird.
want to know, Gary, the honest truth? It was 50-50 with you up until like the last second.
Yeah, I thought that
it wasn't a hard no right off the bat, like fuck him. No,
well,
it was
I
50-50
thought
up
about
to the
this
last second.
when I knew the invites were
really
going
was.
out. I thought it was if I was going to get invited at all, it was going to be Rachel's decision. Because I think,
she likes you
with
a
the
lot.
exception of pulling her chair away from her, I think we mostly get along
she
really
likes you a
well.
lot.
And I happen to like her a lot. And again, I don't want to insult you with this. I think that you have, since you guys got back together and got engaged and all that, I really think you've become a nicer person.
I've tried to be.
But I've
made a
actually
conscious
seen
effort.
that.
I've made a conscious effort.
And when
Thank
I
you.
said you've
Thank
changed,
you for noticing it.
But I said when you've changed in the last, when I said you changed in the last 2 years, I really feel that. And by the way, just so you know, when Howard came back on and said something on the air that day, and you said, "Oh, Gary must have clouded him at dinner," this is exactly how it went. Beth, the lovely, sweet Beth, who's the nicest person in the world, we're sitting at dinner, and she goes, "Oh my God!" She goes, "It's gonna be so much
Yeah,
fun."
I heard about this. Yeah.
Did you get the invitation to Richie's wedding? And I go, "No." And she goes, oh. I said, "I won't be getting an invitation." And she said, "Why not?" I said, "I don't think Richie likes me." I said, "We don't get along that well." And that was it. I didn't say nobody likes Richie or anything like that.
Right when
but
I
she
came
was,
out the studio, people were like, "Whoa!"
She was surprised to find that out. Beth was really surprised. Beth thinks everybody likes everybody.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to live life.
Yeah, it's a great attitude if you can have that. Now,
I got that attitude.
Oh, yeah. On Wednesday's wrap-up show, all the talk was about Bobo's treasure trade, everything that Bobo went through to get his valuable items for his shrine, and how Sal shined. And speaking of Sal, he told us the genesis of Twat Raper and the difference between a legitimate rape parody song and an illegitimate rape parody song. Yes, you got to see that.
Today's show, the main attraction, I guess, was Bobo and Bobo's treasure trade, the jingle that we can't get out of our heads. And so much went into this game, and a lot of different games were being played during it, but Bobo had no idea what was happening. He knew to bring in his stuff, but he didn't know that he was going to possibly get anything. That all came as news to him. But he was here extra early and prepared, and I think he had a good time doing what he did. Doug Goodstein, do you agree?
I think he did. I just, personally, I wish it was more of destruction of his items, which we didn't really go there. You saw he wasn't going to part with that stuff. But the physical stuff was fantastic.
I'll tell you, the thing that surprised me the most was the Leroy Neiman poster. Like, I know it's his most treasured item, and he loves it. He wasn't going to give that up for anything. Like,
No,
I wonder
nothing.
if what Howard could have done. Maybe Howard could have offered like a photo session or something
no,
like that.
I think if Howard said, "I'll give you everything."
Oh,
that
for the
probably
Neiman.
Yeah, that probably would have been about it.
But John, can I ask a quick question?
Sure, Steve.
Who is Leroy Neiman? Should I know him?
Yeah.
What's the deal?
He's a famous artist. You should definitely know.
And what does he have to do with Howard?
He did a painting for Howard back in the day for the show that Howard hung up in his place, and then Howard in turn gave it to Bobo.
Oh, Howard gave it to Bobo?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's got to be other people that did
Which is funny because turns out Bobo destroyed it himself. He just that's what
He
broke.
broke it in the car?
Yeah.
The poor guy.
Really? Yeah, the frame cracked.
Now, as things came up, the first thing offered to Bobo was Robin's bra, and I didn't think he was going to take it. The stunt was offered, and then a trivia question, and you could tell he wanted it, but I think he thought that was the whole game. Like, it would be the bra. And
Right.
once it clicked, and it takes a little while to click with Bobo, that there'd be more stuff coming, he jumped all over it. And that's where my pal over here came in to shine. Sal, congratulations. Will you not smoke that in here?
Sorry. Thank you.
Seriously, don't bring the electric cigarette in here.
I'm celebrating.
Celebrating what?
Painting my cock on Bobo's face.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was one of the only,
painting Bobo's face with my cock.
That was one of only a few things that you did.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
And what did you enjoy the most? The painting, the pubic hair mustache with Richard?
I think everything was equal.
Really?
Yeah. These stunts are like my children. I don't discriminate. I like them all equally. So
yeah,
it worked out well.
I mean, everyone contributed a bunch of stunts, and I know you had a ton of ideas with Richard on what to do with this.
It all happened so quickly yesterday in the meeting. Everything shifted gears real quick, and Howard said, "What if we can throw in some stunts as well?" And boom, we just started putting them together immediately.
Yeah. The only thing that was a bummer about the segment is that it only was those 3 stunts. I mean, we could have gone for 5 hours. There was
really
so
could've.
many things, and there was no. I think Bubba would have gone for everything.
Like when Howard went
as long
for
as
the-
it was just the physical stunts. I mean, he went for it. I mean,
When
how
Howard
much-
said the tickle chair, I'm like, oh God, it's over. We could have done so much more. We were going to play the bongos on Bobo's head with our penises, Richard and myself. We had a lot more ideas.
Did Richard enjoy shaving you for the mustache?
Absolutely. I told him, I said, you need to be my shaver. He goes, you got it, buddy. I love to be your shaver.
Did he work the ass hair in, or did you guys...
He got a few of them. Definitely got a few of them. And that was pretty good. I loved when he went for the ass hair.
Do you feel gay at all? Like, I mean, you did very homosexual type stuff. I mean, you put your penis in a guy's face. You had the guy shaving your balls.
No,
Do you
not at
feel
all.
proud of yourself?
Absolutely. Do you?
Yeah.
You're the
I'm
one
proud of you.
running this cockamamie
No, I think
organization.
it's great. I'm proud of you.
We've been down
Pat on
this
the
road
back.
so many
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
Doug. Clearly, Sal and Richard believe what they're doing is for the humor and funny, but not sexual in any kind of way.
Of course.
Ask any gay person if they got an erection from me doing it. It might be gay. All I heard was laughter. So it could be. If people want to perceive it as gay, sure. I'm not gay. I'm not going home today looking to suck a penis. I don't get. It's not like I'm going to go to some gay porn.
So when you're painting Bobo's nose with your penis, there's not any sense of arousal just because you're touching somebody else with it, and
Probably just the opposite. Just the opposite. Here I am putting my penis on a man's nose. There's no way I'm going to get erect. If anything, it's kind of shriveling up a little bit. That's why I give it a good stretch on the pouch. And that kind of serves
You know what's
as,
strange? I got to go back and check tape, but Scott DePace swears that something fell out of your pouch when you first pulled down your pants.
Really?
Is that possible? Do you have any schmegma or something in there?
No, it's clean as a whistle right now.
You sure?
Yeah, you want to come and smell it?
No, thank you.
Sal,
Let John do that.
While you're here, I'll do that during the break. While you're here, I want to ask you about...
Well, John, I'm over the age of 11. You sure you want to go down there?
We didn't get a chance to talk about your song yesterday.
Oh, Twat
I
Raper.
wanted you to come down, and you didn't come down, but...
Oh.
Congratulations.
Congratulations since Howard was repulsed by it.
Well, I think that's your goal sometimes.
It is. You know, there's nothing better than shocking the shock jock. I think there's no greater form of admiration.
Where did you come up with that? Did you hear the real song and suddenly it just fit, or what? Yeah, tell me the genesis of Twat Raper.
I heard it on my my iPhone, you know, when I was working out.
And how do you come up with the scenarios within the song? Is that just things that pop into your head? You know, what happened? You know, the different things you want to do to her, or
No, look, like I said, you know, boobs, lube, round, brown, gets a little monotonous, a little after a while, gets a little redundant. So you need to shake it up. You need to raise the bar.
Were you surprised by how Howard reacted to the song?
No, I didn't know which way he would go. I was actually glad that he said he was disgusted by it and played it versus just deleting it and ignoring it altogether. To me, that's a great accomplishment when he plays something out of disgust. It's fun. It's great. But by far, I'm not looking to rape her. I'm looking at it as a, what is that called? Like the brothers do it to each other. Term of endearment. That's a term of endearment.
What do you mean the brothers do it?
You know how you can't say the N-word, but if you do say it, you say it as a term of endearment. That's the only time it's acceptable, which I understand. When I'm saying I want to rape Robin, it's not I really want to rape her. I don't want to commit an illegal act. I don't want to violate her. I want to consensually have mad, pussy-pounding, ass-bruising sex with her. And if you love somebody and you say that, it's not offensive. If you love somebody. If you don't, it's different. It was this is a legitimate twat rape song, not an
What would an illegitimate twat rape song be?
And just keep talking for the next 10 minutes. This is great.
An illegitimate twat rape song would be somebody who legitimately wants to rape somebody.
So you're saying that you don't want to rape Robin, of
do
course.
You think I do?
No,
of course not.
But I think you'd love to have sex with her.
Who wouldn't? I'd have sex with you at this point in my marriage.
What did you think of Robin's reaction to the song?
I was very impressed. I was hoping that she would be, slightly taken off, and she was, but I liked it. It made me laugh my ass off. I just thought it was at the end. It was funny, when you in a typical average job, you don't take out your penis and make a clown nose on somebody, but it's funny. It works perfect in this environment.
Would you play it for your wife?
Yeah. I mean, there's no need to, but yeah.
All right.
I don't think she thinks anything by it, but I love the song. I thought it was great.
Well done. You should be proud.
Did you like it?
I did. I enjoyed it.
What'd you think, Doug?
Song,
I actually missed it.
Any song you do makes me laugh. You know
thanks. I have to do a John Hines song then.
You have to do one of those. Teddy, let's take a break.
Kid Raper!
Come back.
Kid Raper!
We'll talk more about
He's going to throw you in his trunk.
Treasure Trade. We'll move off of Twat Raper and back to the Treasure Trade. And, Gary, I was saying before you came in that there were a lot of different games really going on during the segment.
Yes, and I was very, very nervous about this morning because this is one of those bits that, to take a phrase from Tim, had a lot of moving parts. And there were a lot of areas where it could have gone a lot of different ways. This also was the morning that Howard was coming off of America's Got Talent and had to work again. So I had a meeting yesterday with myself, Will, Doug, Richie Wilson. We all sat down and we went over everything a lot, and we tried to make it as easy as possible. I mean, Will did the bulk of the work, but I was so afraid. I was just praying for it to be 8 o'clock because I wanted this to be done and just go correctly.
Did you think Bobo would give up that Leroy Neiman poster for anything?
Yeah, he was very attached to that.
And the OJ mask he passed on basically, right? But he wanted your beekeeper mask.
He did.
Lost his eyebrows for that, right?
I was surprised that he passed. I know it's weird, but I was surprised that he passed on the tombstone because it's so one of a kind and it's so well known from the show. And off the record, we really wanted him to take it because we just wanted out of here. Right. It was almost like garbage. We're like, please win it so we can get rid of it.
But did you know, why? Did you hear why he said he did?
Yeah, he said he thought it was.
It freaked him out.
He thought it was freaky. But he's like a tribble attached to Howard. He feels what Howard feels.
But not only, I don't think it only freaked. It just didn't just freak him out as a death kind of thing. But like the thought of Howard dying,
right,
is so upsetting to him.
No, I get it, but Howard, if it freaks Howard out, it freaks Bobo out.
To me, the highlight of the whole bit, and I thought the bit was very strong, was when the guy called in at the end and criticized Bobo, as a fan, and Bobo immediately, commanded respect as he's got Sal's, paint from Sal's
My
penis on his
favorite part of
face.
that. Did you notice that he said, "What are you? Go back to your 9-to-5 job." Like, what the fuck does that mean?
But he knew as opposed to his 12 to 8
like,
job.
what is that? We were like, what does that mean? Like, decipher that.
Well, I think it means that I think that Bobo thinks that he's special as a super fan of the show. But his job is as regular as it gets. He's got like a 9-to-5 top job. There's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5
but
job.
maybe he meant like because then he's successful. Isn't he sort of retired because he made a lot of money?
He's
and saved up?
semi-retired. Yeah, he retired from the post office, and he does.
He's a
teach
postal
class.
worker?
He was, yeah.
Oh my God, that explains
I
everything.
thought he gave defensive
He went
driving.
postal many years ago.
No, wait, I thought he was a defensive driving
That's what he does
instructor.
now.
Oh, that's
So I understand why he's semi-retired because he probably worked for the post office for 30 years.
Right.
He's probably on full pension, and so he can do a job where he doesn't have to work full time because the pension and a little part-time work makes it work.
Now, do you get sentimental about any of the stuff that he took? I know he got some carts, the tickle chair.
I got to tell you, the carts, they've been in my office for a while. I took them when we left K-Rock. And so I have 4 carts in my office. A song of DeBella, Baldy Baldy, John with Ringo Starr, the Tarantella music, and a cart of when Jackson played football and the announcer announced it, Howard played it on the air. And I think I just grabbed those randomly on the last day, but I remember thinking, all right, John with Ringo, that's a big deal. That's iconic. Oh, and I have China singing her song.
Oh.
And so I had to give a couple up yesterday, and I was almost hoping he wouldn't take them because they actually mean something to me, although they're fucking useless.
And the tickle chair, I mean, that I was sad to see that go.
Well, again,
we look at that as it is sort of one of a kind, but it really is just like a Adirondack wood chair, and then you just could get straps.
That was we had a discussion because at one point we were thinking about putting the Robo Spanker up or the Wheel of Sex,
right?
And those are much more difficult to replace. So the tickle chair is easy to replace, but it is the one chair that all that stuff happened in, so it worked out well.
A lot of history. I mean, you go back, that probably has been featured on 50, 60
Who was the chick? Who was the chick that I kept pouring water on? Was that Mary
Nikki's?
Oh no!
Nikki Ziering, I think it was.
She kept saying she wanted a drink of water. I kept pouring it on her like a wet T-shirt.
There was a waitress who worked at the Penthouse Club that was the hottest one ever that you poured a ton of water on. And God, to this day, the hottest chick ever in the history of the show. I mean, I would take the wooden planks that her vagina rested on
and twat rate them.
Yeah, I really would. I really would violate those things. She was
legitimately.
So hot. Yeah.
Stephen Philly, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, John, Gary, what's happening? I just want to. Do you think Bobo's stuff's going to be worth a lot? All his memorabilia put together is going to be worth a lot of money one day when Howard retires?
I think I can answer this. You know, the charity that I work for, we're always talking about ways to raise money, right? So one of the guys that works there, he said, you know, go into your attic. Like a lot of us worked in the record business. We have like old records or whatever. So I went into my closet. I have like the shirt from Howard's 40th birthday. I've got a jacket from Private Parts, a bunch of stuff. And I was going to put it up for auction for the charity. And I went online and looked, and it just didn't seem to be worth it. It didn't seem that it would generate enough money for me to part with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would think some of the stuff, depending on how unique it is, I guess, and like I'm thinking the tickle chair. I know you said it's an Adirondack chair, but based on the history and fans of the show, I guess if they bid against each other, maybe then
I also think that Howard has to sort of legitimize it.
Yeah,
Howard
sign it.
And not only sign it, but
Well,
if Howard says
today? What happened today gives the items huge legitimacy.
Right, that's right.
But I wonder, like, are you saying if in 25 years will Bobo be able to say, I've got the tickle chair from the Howard Stern show, somebody's going to go, oh my God, that's worth a lot of money, or somebody's going to go, fucking, I don't care.
Probably both.
I think it's worth nothing because I think it's splintered on the LAE right now.
But it's still
I
the
think
chair.
that's coming out of the car.
Listen, it's like
no doubt.
it's like getting a piece of wood from Yankee Stadium. At the end of the day, it's a piece of wood.
I think he'll end up, and you'll have to check in 20 years. I think it'll be like $1 million collection or more.
I disagree.
Well, I asked him that when I did the Bobo Shrine tour.
Yeah, what does he think it's
And
worth?
I said, "What is this worth?" He goes, "Well, it's it's priceless to me." I said, "Well, put a price on it." He goes, "Oh, it's got to be in the millions."
But like any piece of memorabilia, any autograph, any other stuff, it's worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it.
I mean, I guess an insurer would know, like, have some idea of.
Yeah, I don't think Bobo's collection is worth. It may not be worth $25,000.
What about
definitely less than that? I mean, it's pretty much newspaper clippings and magazines and books.
Well, he's got some autograph stuff
that is unique. I mean, there's lots of photos; those aren't worth shit. It's the stuff that's signed, the books, the stuff we gave him today has some value. And
I laughed really hard. I was watching the piece that you guys put together that's going to run on TV, and he was even impressed that he's got a copy of a book that my mother signed, which made me laugh my ass off.
That's his like number 2 most valuable thing.
Sal, what do you think of Bobo's passion? Because you're a passionate fan of the show, and of course you're part of the show now, but do you understand where he's coming from, why this stuff means so much to him, what he'd be willing to do to get some stuff from the show?
You know, everybody has their thing, and for Bobo, it's the show. I certainly get it. There was a show one time on MTV. What was it called? There was these people who were obsessed with certain bands and whatnot, and they had the most ridiculous things. There are people who collect locks of hair from rock stars and whatnot.
What about you before you worked on the show? Did you ever collect memorabilia from the show?
The only thing I have from the show is when I was a guest on it, you guys signed a book, which I still have, and Howard signed a Private Parts poster. That's it.
But you were never big into you're not one of those guys like, God, I'd really love to have the seat cushion.
No, I'm not a collector type of guy. I just don't collect stuff. It's not me. But I get it. I mean, Bobo's obsessed with the show. It's an obsession, and you know what? If it makes him happy, so be it. The guy's been listening for so long. He is a super fan. He got something good out of it. Like my cock hair on his face.
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey. On Monday's wrap-up show, we talked about how Howard was really bummed out that because of the storm, his parents had to stay at his house all weekend. And Scott DePace and I sort of sympathized with him about what it's like to have relatives overstay their welcome. Here's what happened.
Off the politics for a second, with Gary now in here, and talk more about what Howard's going through, because he's got his mom, his dad, his sister all in his house, and he's offering to blow LIPA to get the power back on.
And I've been working hard. I've been talking to people. I got to lay really low because, I don't want to get people in trouble, but, they're trying, but it may be a while.
Isn't this wrong?
Of course. It's not wrong to me. I got a boss who needs something, and I need to get it done. That's all I give a shit about.
Yeah, but what about the poor old lady who lives 3 blocks away?
I got a boss who needs to get something done.
So if somebody comes to fix something at your house, but your neighbor needs it more, are you going to send them their way and wait your turn?
No, but if my neighbor was scheduled to get it done, and I can somehow use influence to get it done at my house first, that's wrong.
Are tempers and tensions running high, Gary, around just in general in your neighborhood? And
I was telling John, Lucas and I went out to get gas on Friday, and it was like, early in the day, and he just said to me without any provocation, he goes, Dad, man, everybody's really tense because you could just feel it. First of all, our block has never been that crowded at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning. The cops are out everywhere because there's like 10 gas stations within a quarter mile of each other. But yes, tensions are high.
How difficult is it Howard's dealing with a couple things right now. Some stuff as small as he sees the newspaper after his dad went through it, and his dad's like, you could throw him out. He's like, wait, you see the paper and it's all crumbled and you want it clean. But the other thing is ultimately, he's trying to get his parents into a condo or into a place that he thinks they would benefit more, but they don't want to go anywhere. And it's not an easy conversation to have.
It's a tough thing because they, older people have a system and a routine, and they don't like to mess with that routine. I get that. Mary said to me, wouldn't it suck if we were old to be going through this? And I said, because I could not get my internet back till late last night. I said, no, because if I'm old, I don't really have a job, so I don't give a shit whether I'm on the internet. I'm struggling to get on so I can do work.
I think that's for them, they think that's the beginning of the end. Your kid is putting you off into a home, and,
I had this conversation, I talked about this in my book, but with both my parents, I tried to get them to turn their money over to the kids, which is a common thing before the 5-year look-back rule. And I talked to a couple of my friends about it. They went to the parents, and one of my friends came back to me, and he said, his father glared at him and he goes, so wait a minute, let me get this right. You're going to take my fucking money, and when I want money, I got to come and see you? And it was like, but at the end of the day, you're just trying to do the right thing for your parents and for their kids.
Yeah, that is weird, though.
Howard also mentioned Beth offering to take in one of his parents down the road, and Howard was like, that's grounds for divorce. And Howard loves his parents more than anything. Of
course.
But there's no one who can get on your nerves more than your parents because you're really treating them like your kids at this point.
I saw one of my neighbors, I was using internet at their house, and I saw them getting like a little flustered with their parents. I never saw them get like that before. But of course, your parents can... I'm like really nice, and I'll go to my mother, like, Mom, why are you giving me shit? Because it's your mom. That's what they do.
Greg in Boston, you're on the wrap-up show.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Love the show as usual. Two quick things I wanted to hit on real quick. I didn't hear any mention of Howard's house in the Hamptons. Did he get any damage down there at all? Or he said it, spoke about it. I missed it. But
I think I saw a note from Beth. I think I saw a note from Beth. I think it was fairly minimal. Nothing house damage, maybe some trees or stuff, but nothing major.
No, he's lucky. I know he's close to the water. My other quick thing is, with all of his dough, why does he not put in one of those whole house generators that goes in your backyard? It's fueled by natural gas.
He talked about that a little bit today.
Why doesn't who put it in?
He's saying, why doesn't Howard put a generator in his parents' house?
Or his parents, yeah.
He can't get his dad to take a TiVo.
No, they don't have natural gas, he said there. So that was the
I don't have natural gas either.
And then the propane thing, he said they weren't, I don't know, they weren't into the idea.
Yeah. I bet they'd be into it now. No, it's one of those things where the generator thing for a lot of my neighbors was like, oh, it's such a pain in the ass. And now, when I built my house, I put in a whole house generator. I was the only one in the neighborhood with it. I don't think there's one person in my neighborhood without some form of a generator, whether it's the gas one you drag out.
How big's your propane tank? Is it?
It's underground. When I built the house, I put one underground. I think it's 300 gallons.
You have a generator?
I do. I just have a portable one, but finding gas for that was just as much of a misery. It was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the interesting conversation I had with Lucas when he was talking about how on edge people were, we talked about, it reminded us of that. Remember that Twilight Zone episode where they thought the aliens were coming and all the neighbors were like ganging up on each other?
Oh, Maple Street, great episode.
It started to feel like our neighborhood was great, but when you went out to the outside of your neighborhood, it started to feel like that. The people online are angry, and it was weird.
How do you think Howard's holding up after the weekend with his parents?
It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot. I mean, Mary and I have had, those, have you never had relatives over your house for a sustained period of time and you love them, and when they leave, you let out a huge sigh of relief and you're like, I love them, but Jesus, I just need my house back. Everyone's shaking their head, but
yeah. I was just going to say that's what family's all about, for better.
And you love to help them, and you love that they're there, and you're like, I'm glad they came, but God,
I have an in-law come to my house every year for about 2.5 weeks, where my wife goes away, and
what do you mean?
It's hard.
Wait, your wife leaves when the relative comes?
Well, in other words, the in-law is there to take place of my wife.
I see.
For the kids, help me out a little bit.
Right.
And
you're not a big fan?
I am. Yes, I am. But it gets hard.
It fucks with your routine.
Yeah. I find I keep escaping and leaving and just, I'm going to go down to the store.
You know who's great? You know whose routine it didn't fuck with? Starting John told a great story on the air how his mother-in-law was staying with him for a week, and she walked in and caught him jerking off. I'm like, in an apartment, in a small New York City apartment. I'm like, you can't not jerk off for 3 days while your mother-in-law's there?
I would have to divorce immediately, so I would never have to look at her again.
Hey everybody, it's Sal Governale, and on Tuesday's wrap-up show we discussed why I was voting for Romney. You're going to find it to be brilliant because I am a genius on this show. We also discussed Sour Shoe's great appearance on the show and all the crazy things that went down that day, so check it out.
Sal Governale now joining us on the wrap-up show along with Sour Shoes and Ronnie. And as I'm reading that ad, Sour comes over and starts taking stuff out of this lunchbox and giving it to Sal. Sal, what did he give you?
He just gave me a whole shitload of Kiss cassettes. Kiss Destroyer,
Where's
Kiss
the
Dynasty.
VHS tapes?
Hey, what are you going to do with them?
Throw them in the garbage.
Oh, that's not nice.
Is this a gift, or were you just trying to impress me with this?
I was trying to impress you.
Oh, okay.
Do you want
very, very nice, but I mean, what am I going to do with old cassettes?
I know exactly what you do. You go down to Astor Place, you throw them on a blanket, you sell them for a nickel a piece.
Sour, do you want these back, or are these a gift?
Well, you can keep them if you want.
Are they a gift? Well, that's very nice of you. You know what the fun thing is? They smell.
I'll give them back to the guy. They're in his lunchbox.
I know, but they smell really bad.
What do they smell like?
Like, you ever remember as a kid when you went into your friend's house for the first time and it was a smell you'll never forget? Everybody has that house. It smells like that house. It's just
yeah, old people smell.
Yeah, old people, liverwurst, newspapers, cheese. This is
Sal, it was in a lunchbox.
I've touched some crazy things. I touch these cassettes. I want to boil my hands.
Sal,
I'm not kidding.
I got to ask you because we know what happened 4 years ago. You said that you voted for Obama, then later we found out you didn't vote at all. Are you going to vote this year?
I am definitely going to vote this year.
And who are you voting for?
Well, I am voting for Romney.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I look at it this way. Obama did a great job, and Romney's going to, I guess, will do
You're the only person voting for Romney that thinks Obama did a great job.
Well, he did a great job, and I think whoever goes in there, I mean, he did a pretty good job. He killed Bin Laden and all that other stuff. But the thing is this. We live in a world of bullshit, and to me, the man with the biggest line of bullshit wins. The country really doesn't change that much drastically, maybe in little bits and pieces. So be it. Nothing's really going to change. Nothing is going to affect, I think, my bottom line, or most of us for that matter. So I want to vote for somebody, and this might be a little odd, where we can have fun with it. Like, I love the Romney impersonator. I want to continue doing Romney jokes. Saturday Night Live totally buckled down on Obama. Nobody does Obama jokes, maybe because he's African-American and sensitive issue. I get it. But with Romney, just like Bush, we can have a fucking field day. I want to keep this Romney impersonator going. I want to see Romney SNL skits. Nobody's afraid to make fun of the dopey old white man. So, you know what? If we're going to live in a world of politics, let's at least laugh about it.
So let me get this straight. Because it doesn't really matter who wins, you're going with Romney because he's easier to make fun of.
Absolutely.
So
lots of comedic content there.
So it's for the sake of the show.
Yeah, sake of the show, sake of entertainment. It's funny. Everybody had a field day with Bush. Nobody did anything with Obama.
That's so not true, by the way.
Well, they talked about it, too, in the news. They had to be very, very careful about certain things.
There's been like 3 different guys on Saturday Night Live who have done Obama. They do Obama every week.
Do you feel like you have to be careful with Obama?
I think you have to be careful in this day and age with anything.
Well, if you didn't have to be careful, give me one of your best jokes.
I wouldn't have one. I really don't. I mean,
you have one.
Somebody one time somebody referred to one time in the Post, I believe they referred to Obama as a monkey, and there was an uproar about that. That Al Sharpton came forward and did his typical march and all that other stuff that comes with it.
I think that's when anytime you refer to any black person as a monkey, there's an uproar, not just the president.
But why is there an uproar about calling you a monkey?
I could sit here and explain it to you, but I don't believe that I can't believe I have to explain it to you.
Well, no, I'm saying that monkey is just a derogatory term to call somebody no matter who you are, whether you're white or black.
Don't you think black people got that term a lot more than white people?
Absolutely. And
so that's why.
I know that, but you should still be offended to be called a monkey.
I am.
Okay, well, there you go. So I think it works on both sides.
I don't even know what you just said.
I don't either, but I'll cut it. The other thing that I noticed today between you, Gary, sitting next to Sour Shoes is he sounds a lot more like you in his real voice, and maybe that helps with the impression.
I thought so, too. When I heard him speaking, he's got a lot more of my accent. He's got a little bit of my accent, so I think it's easier for him to turn it on. And a little bit of my tone of voice when you're just being yourself.
Yeah. Well, remember when Robin was saying to try to mimic someone so you could be somewhat normal?
Mm-hmm.
So about 3 months ago, because I talked to Vinny a lot, I was telling Vinny, maybe I'll just do this voice because it's somewhat normal. And that way I can get my point across.
So the voice you're talking in right now isn't necessarily your voice?
No, because I think my regular voice is higher, right? And it kind of annoys me.
Well, wouldn't you know your own voice?
I don't know.
I think right now you're speaking.
Dude, he doesn't even know his own self.
Yeah,
how's he going to know his own voice?
It's like asking Sybil, who are you?
Now, let me ask you something, Gary. You're pretty good with this. Do you think that something happened traumatically in Sour Shoes' life that he constantly uses these voices, almost like somebody with multiple personalities, and he's kind of shying away and hiding who he really is? So he uses this stuff as a guise?
Yes, I think that he's not dealing with who he really is. There's definitely a like a Peter Pan thing going on. Like he's very juvenile,
right?
And he can, if you ever try to have a serious conversation with him, even when we talked on the phone, he'll go to a voice. Right. Although I was able to, I used to have pretty normal conversations with him.
But it always winds up at the end changing back to the
Now,
voice.
Sour, do you change your voice because you are somewhat ashamed of who you really are, or you can't identify with who you are because of a traumatic experience?
That might be a little bit too extreme. I think it's more habitual at this point.
Well, how long have you been doing it? Like, were you doing this, seriously, were you doing this when you were 12?
Possibly, yeah.
Were you doing it at Pepperdine?
Yeah.
And
at St. John's and Pepperdine.
This morning, when you came in, Howard and Rob were commenting on your energy and like you kind of got off to a slow start. I think by the end you definitely hit your stride. But did you feel off your game at all today?
Ronnie and I were talking, and Scott and I talk every day on the phone pretty much, and he gives me some ideas. And I was talking to Ronnie about it. It seems kind of I was kind of professional today here real early, so maybe almost that it was kind of too normal. Whereas the last time I was more thrown in.
You also said that you had this penthouse pet come at you in a nurse's outfit, gorgeous girl coming on to you real hard, but you said you're more interested in Lisa G.
Yeah, it was like all too much. It was too much there. But when I stepped away and was back to where I was at the keyboards and the instruments, it was almost like I was watching it. So then I started to get more excited.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Like when
I'll tell you what he means.
When her stories, when she started to talk the way she talked, and then I was starting to envision like Lisa being there watching me, watching her. Like I started to get excited.
What were you going to say, Ron?
When she was telling all those stories about getting fucked in the ass with the 12-inch dick and the whole deal about Woo Kid, and this guy was in another world. He never moved. He didn't make a noise. He was like...
And I was picturing what she did.
He was like a guy jerking off in one of the booths like Sal does. You could see it in his face that he was going to blow a load.
You were picturing it in your mind as it was going on?
I was coupling it what she did to me 5 minutes earlier.
Now, Ronnie, what did you think of Alexis, all that ass play talk? I know you're a pro when it comes to that.
She's a fun girl, man. I'd love to have her in my bed for a few hours.
Did you learn anything from what she had to say, or is that just...
No. But I know she's a fun girl.
Did it sound like she did anything out of the ordinary?
No. Sounds like fun. Sounds cool to me.
What was going on? What was going on in your mind during this part of the interview?
I
Sounds
was
like you were on the same.
Man. I was almost in the same boat with him, but I was too busy watching him. He was fogging over. It was insane. If you go back and look at the Howard TV cameras of the footage, you look at his face, man. It was like a kid just about ready to blow his load when he's in. We used to have a guy in high school. He used to sit in the back of the classroom, and he used to jerk off in his desk, and he used to stare at the girls' legs. It was miniskirt time back then, like it is now.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, he had that same look on his face that this kid used to have before he blew his load in his desk.
One thing she did was she started to cross her legs, and it was kind of like she wasn't as open, and I kind of liked that better.
She's playing hard to get.
Yeah, she had her in heels like that.
Well, you should have directed.
You sure she just wasn't clenching up her ass cheeks, keeping jizz up her butthole?
Dude, you should have directed her then and tell her what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When you was by the couch with her, you should have said, like, let's slow down a little bit, do it a little easier. Don't jump all over me like that. You probably would have blown your load then.
But then again, that helped me later on in the interview because then I was coupling what she did to me there. It was just at the moment, it's hard for me to grasp what's happening. But then when I look back and lament, and then
now, will you take this home with you and masturbate to it?
I'll try to work it into a dream overnight.
He doesn't jerk off.
A weaver, a dream weaver, Gary Wright.
Well, Sour, is that what's appealing about Lisa to you?
And she plays a part in that too today. I'm picturing her.
She's the nightmare.
Watching me and kind of putting me down a little.
Well, I mean more like you said when Alexis crossed her legs. That was more of a turn on to you because
when she first walked in.
And Lisa's sort of conservative, so I wonder if that's what appeals to you.
Yeah,
because Ronnie's into Lisa too, but not for that reason. I don't think.
I'm into it for that hotel room.
Wow! Did you see the facial resemblance? Did you see the
of Lisa and Ronnie?
What? Wait!
The Olsen girls and the Alexis a little bit. Just in the face?
Not really.
No.
Nah,
that had something to do with it.
I saw those big red lips around your dick. That's what I saw.
Jesus. That's when Ronnie came.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, well, Obama is president again. Some people on this show, namely Scott DePace, voted for Mitt Romney, and it may be an understatement saying that he wasn't very happy with the results. He tried to explain himself, and that made for a very good show.
How late did you guys stay up for the election results last night?
10:30. I stayed up till 10:30. I was fairly confident when I went to bed. It's those TV stations. They have to keep you hooked in. So at 9:10, they're like, "Oh, this is going to go all night. You can't let go." And then by 9:45, it had completely changed. It looked like it wasn't going to be as close an election. But yeah, about 10:30.
Yeah, I went to bed a little before 10, and I had a feeling the way it was going to turn out. How about you, Will?
8:15.
Oh, that's your usual bedtime, though.
I'm not staying up for that. You know what? The answer's still going to be the same in the morning.
I did get up this morning, and I keep an iPad on my vanity, and while I brush my teeth, I sort of just look at the headlines, and I was so afraid. Like when you play fantasy football and you're way ahead and you have to go to bed, you get up the next day, and then somebody scored a shitload of points in the second half. I was so afraid that it was going to be, Romney won Florida, Ohio, and this and that. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I don't want to get too political here on this show, but Will and I were talking a little bit, and I mean, the Republican Party, this is it. Like, clearly, they're not going to be able to carry an election without having some support of different groups, and there's going to be a split, or something's got to happen.
Well, you put it a much better way. Somebody said DePace is the last of a dying breed. An older white guy. There's lots of white people, and they're getting older, but I think their attitudes are changing, and there's much more diversity in this country. This country isn't getting whiter; it's getting more diverse.
I didn't see Scott. How was he today?
Not happy.
He was pissy. We made a bet. We made like $100 bet on the election 2 years ago, actually. And, I won today, and he threw the money on the ground. He's like, go pick it up, boy.
It was like the end of...
Fuck you. I'm not picking up your fucking...
It was like the end of 8 Mile. He came in and just dropped
Exactly. It was just like, I'm not going to grovel in front of you.
So he's not ready to embrace the country and move on after...
No, he'll be angry as ever, and we'll have to listen to his obnoxious rants every day.
Yeah, the thing that I don't understand with him especially, which Howard sort of addressed today, is, and I even tweeted this out the other day, it's like, listen, of course I'm voting for Obama. If Romney wins, he's my president. He's president of the United States, and I'll give him every opportunity until it doesn't work. But this is like, DePace already, that's it. The next 4 years are a wash. I don't support him. We're going to do everything we can to stop him. How are you going to get anything done?
An angry Scott DePace now joining us.
Before you guys start crowing too much, Republican Party is not dead.
We're not crowing.
Just in case. Oh, yeah, you're going, the Republican Party is dead. Old white guys. 48% of the country voted like me. It wasn't a big deal.
But
it's very close, Gary.
I'm saying that if you brought more diversity to the party, you think you'd have a better chance of winning?
Well, we don't buy votes. We earn them through correct policy.
But I don't understand what that means when you say buy votes.
I could get diversity. Let me just start offering things to everyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Somewhat.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wait.
Hold on.
Just like I said.
You mean
I
be
told
inclusive?
Will this before.
Be inclusive?
No, that's not inclusive. I told Will this before. In my high school, the guy was running for president, and he said, all right, you vote for me, I'm going to get you a free day off of school. Everyone voted for me. Got 98% of the vote. He wasn't able to get the free day off from school.
That is the most ridiculous example ever.
It's a great analogy because basically Romney was right talking about the 47%. It's not exactly accurate, but when you're giving away things to all these people...
Yeah, Army vets, all those suckers.
But see,
suckers
again,
off the system.
I'm not saying it's exactly...
Hold on.
I'm just
Old
simply...
people. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Scott.
Yeah.
You look like you want to punch somebody
I do.
right now.
I do.
Why? Why are you... What's angering you?
It was it's just... I don't know.
Were you
faith in the country?
Were you up all night? Did you wait until...
No. I turned it off.
Is Obama your president? Do you support Obama as your president?
Of course he's my president.
But do you support him?
Do I support his ideas? No.
No, do you support him? In other words, if he tries to get...
What, I'm a jockstrap? What do you mean, support his balls? No, I don't support his policies.
But you couldn't even give him credit for doing doing the right thing during the hurricane. Even that bothers you.
No, more than anything there, I'm putting out the hypocrisy. That when Katrina hit, the media was all over Bush like he had just like he created the damn hurricane. Now with this thing, it's Obama gets his ass lathered, and it's his bullshit.
But you understand it's
bullshit. It's no better now.
You understand that
and that's 4 years after the fact.
You understand the grief that they gave George Bush was that he was slow to deal with the hurricane.
It's because he didn't land on the ground. He flew over. That was a big fucking thing.
No, but he was slow to deal with it.
People were on their roofs. They had to first get people into safe. It wasn't easy. It wasn't the same fucking thing.
But again, I don't want to fight. It's not something to yell about. Every time I bring up something about Obama, you go, well, you did this, you did that. I'm saying, did Obama do a good job? This is the most minuscule.
I'm telling you, no. I don't. Listen.
Then you don't support him. And you might as well be honest and say it. You might as well say there's nothing he can do that I will like.
I don't understand
except
what that
you
means,
want.
Support him. Do I wish the country is on a correct... Yes, if that's what you mean by support, yes, I want the country to do better. I want unemployment to go down.
Is there any idea...
But do I believe that his ideas are going to get us there? No. And I'm pissed off the country would vote for a guy after these last 4 years have been so shit.
So what you're saying? Hold on, just listen. So what you're saying is,
try to keep your comments to yourself.
No, what you're saying is, for the next 4 years, you will support anything that will stop or hinder Obama from getting any of his ideas done.
Because that's sort of what I'm not in Congress, Gary. I'm not going to.
But you will support people in Congress that will do that.
Absolutely. If someone says we want to create, like, for example, another Obamacare, yeah, I support them.
Hey, by the way, I meant to ask you, how has Obamacare affected you specifically?
Okay, so far it is not enacted yet, but it starts this year.
Well, sure.
Okay. There's very few provisions have been enacted so far.
So how is it going to hurt you? I want to know.
It is going to hurt me in thousands of ways. One, I think it's going to hurt this whole country with.
I didn't ask. I'm talking about you, Scott DePace. How is it going to hurt you, Scott DePace?
Allow me to tell you how the economy works. When the whole economy
I asked about
goes
you,
down,
it's
that
a very
affects
simple
me,
question.
Gary.
No.
I'm answering you. You won't listen to me. If the economy is bad everywhere,
I understand that.
I get affected.
I'll take that into account, but specifically Obamacare.
Next, there are tax increases.
How is it going to affect you on a very personal level, specifically, not as a whole country?
I'm telling you, and you're not listening. Open your fucking ears. There are tax increases.
I don't
that
believe
will
there's tax
affect
increases
me.
for you. Actually.
Yes, right.
I don't want to get too wonky.
Yes,
with it,
there
but
are.
No, there aren't.
Yes, there are.
No, there aren't.
Yes, there are.
Well,
you don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Yes, I do know what I'm talking about. I can tell you exactly what it is, but I don't think it's very interesting to the crowd.
I'll prove
this
it to you
audience.
later.
You lost. Shut up.
I find that when anyone yells about Obamacare and you ask them how it affects them personally, they can't answer the question.
And lastly, I believe that there's an underlying thing to this whole thing where when people do not have to support themselves, when people do not have to be responsible, that's a bad issue. When you can start force feeding people and giving them their own policies, instead they go out buy their fucking iPhones and their cars and whatever the fuck else they want to buy. It's not a very sexy purchase buying insurance. Instead, they buy the other shit. And when you do that, that's a bad thing. Lastly,
but you still haven't answered the question.
Lastly, Gary, if you're not understanding how this applies to me, and then lastly,
I
believe
how
that
is it going to come out of your pocket specifically?
I told you taxes. Lastly, I believe that overall the government, when you get control of people's health care, you're going to start putting all sorts of legislations on top of them, just like things like Bloomberg and his salt thing with his soda ban.
But again, you're guessing.
Once the government,
you're guessing.
No,
I'm saying
I'm smart enough to know. Once the government is in control
than everyone else
of our insurance policy, they're going to do things like Will agrees with. That if you're too heavy, they're going to tax you more. If I smoke cigars, I'm going to have to pay more. And it's going to be a slippery slope where when the government is in charge of us,
Republicans love to use that broccoli example, like they're going to, everyone's going to be forced to eat broccoli, but it's ridiculous.
I want to let the record show that he has not answered the question.
I've answered it.
He has not.
Taxes.
Do you feel
taxes?
Do you
taxes?
But it hasn't happened.
Your answer is taxes.
I told you it doesn't start until next year.
Scott.
It starts this year, and then next year's taxes will be on there.
Scott, over here.
That is accurate.
Scott.
There are parts of the program that are already in place. Absolutely. Right
but
now.
The taxes haven't been implemented
You can stay
yet.
on your parents' insurance until you're 26 years old, right?
But the taxes have not been implemented yet.
Taxes. Taxes.
That's first. The taxes have not been implemented.
Everybody
yet.
shut up.
Give John the show back.
Thank you.
Hold on. Give John the
Thank
show
you.
back.
Scott, simple question.
You lost.
Do you think that when Christie took that picture with Obama, that the election was basically over at that point? Do you think it had that much of an effect?
No, I don't think it.
So why didn't Romney win?
I think he won because a lot of people are on the. Listen. There's a lot of people who look at who voted for him. A lot of the cities, a lot of the suburbs did not. Right.
That's code for minority.
Yeah.
Well, you call it what it is, but
I think you just did.
You just did.
I don't think you're going to win an election anymore without attracting any Hispanic votes. And if your idea of immigration policy is, say, what is it, voluntary deportation, then, you're not talking to people. You're not talking to people in a realistic way, and that's why you're not going to win an election.
Well, then I'm going to win. I'm going to run and just offer everyone $1 million.
But that's not what happened.
What the fuck?
This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary Dell'Abate. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Gary Dell'Abate, Baba Booey. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, there was a lot of Ronnie. First, Ronnie, it turns out, knows that Taylor Swift's fans are called Swifties. We don't know how he knows that. Then Captain Jenks called in and talked about the prank call he made involving Ronnie. And finally, Ronnie told us that he went to see the play Cinderella. Yes, a 60-plus-year-old man went to see the play Cinderella. Here's how it all went.
Another argument that we had, sort of, I wouldn't say argument, but discussion we had before the show, and Howard picked up on it during the show, was about Taylor Swift singing along to all the acts. Some people felt that she was doing it for camera time. I'd asked JD, but he can't come down here right now.
How come? What's he doing?
He's in a meeting, but he does feel that way.
I'm with
as
JD.
Do you. And I and Steve both feel that she's a young girl who just likes music.
I think that when you go to an event like that, where you're really the focus of attention, she's not just anybody going.
Agreed.
She's the focus of attention. Yes, you should go and have a good time, and there's a party that says, hey, I'm going to go do what I want and be who I am. But there's another party that knows that every little thing you do, the camera's picking up on. So I think that her singing every song is a move. It's a move to get on camera.
I disagree. I think she's just singing along, and she's enjoying the music and being a 23-year-old girl.
Can we tell the audience that you, off the air, refer to her as Tay-Tay?
On the air, I've said Tay-Tay many times.
So you're in a whole other league.
Look, just because I've seen her in concert 5 times.
Have you seen her 5 times?
5 times. I'm going again, right?
Are you?
End of March.
What city this time?
It's local. Going to Newark.
John's he's like the Grateful Dead. He's like a deadhead for Taylor Swift. What do they call them?
What?
Taylor heads? Do they have names? Taylor head road groupies?
Swifties.
How do you know that? How do you know that, Ronnie?
Don't worry about it.
No, how do you know that?
I'm smart.
No, how do you know?
I'm a goddamn genius.
How do you know a Taylor Swift groupie? I have 2 teenage daughters. What's your reason?
Yeah, I have a teenage girlfriend.
Is that why you know? Is Stephanie a big Tay-Tay fan?
She likes her.
Do you like her?
Not particularly.
No, not for you?
No.
Not your speed?
She is cute. I got to say, she's a cute kid.
Yeah, she's, whatever.
She's very all-American looking.
Yeah. And I don't think her music's bad. Some of it, not all of it. Steve Brandano agrees. I see him shaking.
I think it's funny because you don't think her music is bad. I'll give you 10 other artists that dance around her genre that you would probably hate.
That's true. I like her older stuff, like Tim McGraw. But anyway, let's get Ronnie. I'm glad.
I like her Greetings from Raspberry Park album.
I'm glad you're here.
Are you really?
Yes, I am. Because
good.
before getting into David Spade, I did want to ask you about that prank call that Jenks did because apparently you weren't a big fan of it.
Not that it wasn't a big. I mean, he got upset because I didn't knock him on the news. I just said I was, I'm friends with a lot of cops, and it was a whole cop thing, and cops were getting shot and killed that day, even. So
Was it not fun and not funny?
It was his stuff is funny, but you know what? He got all bent. He started knocking me on Twitter because I said, because I did the news story with Lieberman saying, that I wasn't too thrilled about it, but, I didn't say I hated it.
Do you think Jenks did the wrong thing by doing it?
He never does the wrong thing because he's always doing those phone calls. So,
He's done a couple of calls I think he wish he could take back.
Are you pissed at him?
No, not at all, but he's pissed at me.
Jenks, are you pissed at Ronnie?
Jenks, you there, buddy?
I'm not pissed at Ronnie. I was just bummed out that because I thought he would think it was cool. When I did the prank call, there was no reports of anybody being shot or injured. I did it before any of that stuff went down, and
I didn't hear it till that night after this all went down and the cop was shot and then he died. He had already died.
And Jenks, in all fairness, nobody had been shot or killed that day. He'd already killed 4 people.
But the thing is I don't do this to make fun of a tragedy or to make fun of people being shot or injured. I do it to show that these people on the news, after 25 years, they still can't stop it. They still don't check their sources. And, I let it out that it was a prank call early on. I didn't keep everybody on about it. And I kind of figured, Ronnie, it would be good for the block party. And I just could imagine all the phone calls that you must have fielded within the first 10 minutes after me doing that call.
I agree with Jenks, by the way. I know he does these during some pretty weird tragedies, but to me, it's always a mad rush to be the first to get the scoop, and it almost seems like these news organizations care so little about what's going on and care more about getting the person on. And I agree, most of the time, 99% of the time, it's not a bad thing. You know, there's like one or two that he probably shouldn't have done.
Well, Jenks proved that, I thought, with this call. Jenks, she would have talked to you all day.
What's that?
She would have talked to you all day, it sounded like.
Yeah, but I kind of got nervous because, again, I was thinking, well, if there are people, if you would have watched it that day, you heard that the reporters and everything, they were getting in the police's way from doing their jobs. So, I mean, me doing a prank call to that show was probably just, I think, was just comical. It was just to show that these people were so willing to put anybody on the air without checking any sources that I mean, I could at least get through and do it. I just didn't want to string anybody along.
You know where I thought Jenks used to shine for me? Jenks, what is the Philadelphia version of, I guess up here, it's called the DOT. What is like the Department of Traffic, like the roadworks people? What are they called?
Right. It's called PennDOT.
PennDOT. Every single snowstorm, he would call as the head of PennDOT and always get on it. I would think, how do these people not know who that is and what his number is? And he would they go, now from PennDOT, we have this guy. They put him on.
Jenks, you're a master of your craft.
But Ronnie, you're not mad at me.
No,
right?
I never said I was pissed. I just said, if you listen to Lieberman's story, I never said I was pissed.
You weren't pleased, though. But I just wanted to make sure you didn't have a problem with me because I'd be bummed out. I was bummed out that you didn't like it.
It's not that I didn't like it. I'm saying it's not that I didn't like it. It was just, I don't know. At the time, it just hit me the wrong way. I don't know.
All right. Thanks, Jenks. We're all good. What did you do for Valentine's Day? What did I hear you saying?
Hey, listen, you're going to Taylor Swift. I went to see Cinderella.
I'm going with my daughters. What did you do for Valentine's Day?
I went to see Cinderella on Broadway.
My God.
How was it?
Why?
Because that's what Stephanie wanted to do for Valentine's Day. She's into Cinderella, I guess. I don't know.
She thinks you're her prince.
Yeah, I am. I am a prince. I got we sat third row, I was a prince.
Someday her prince will come.
Yeah.
How was
exactly, after I'm gone.
What'd you think of the show?
It wasn't that terrible. I didn't fall asleep, so it wasn't that bad. Actually, they added a little humor into it.
How so?
And they made little jokes here, here and there.
I got to ask you a question. I'm not being facetious about this at all or anything. Were there mostly kids at the show?
No, absolutely not, dude. It was all adults.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
And it's not even open yet. It's in preview, and it was sold. It's been sold out for date.
Really? Who's in it? Anybody big? Any big names in it?
Not that I know. Not even in my day.
No Angela Lansbury.
No, there was somebody. I forget who it was. I recognized one name.
Did they cast well? Was Cinderella?
Yeah, she was hot. Yeah, she was definitely hot.
Did she look good when she was working the house, or when she became,
Oh, when she became Cinderella, she's in this hot gown. I'll tell you what, though, the live effects that they had on this show are amazing.
Yeah?
I mean, like, the dresses, they like changed right in front of your eyes, and you didn't even know they changed.
Like Kelly Clarkson's dress at the Grammys.
Yeah, exactly.
They just spun around and bang. They were
exactly. It was crazy, and I'm sitting like 3 rows back, and I'm trying to figure this out.
You think it'll make it on Broadway?
It's opening March 3rd.
I understand. Do you think it'll stand the test of time?
I think so, because a lot of kids, they're going to take a lot of kids to see it probably.
But you said it was adults.
It was adults. There was there were some kids there, but I'm telling you, it was mainly adults.
Cinderella.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was great, man.
I'm sure Stephanie must have been thrilled, though.
Oh, please. Unreal.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, we talked a lot about Mark Cuban and him entertaining Shark Tank pitches from the staff. So Richie Wilson came in with his winning pitch, but Tim Sabean came in with his losing pitch, and Scott DePace came in to explain why he didn't pitch at all. Lots of fun, as always, on the wrap-up show.
Mark Cuban also came by, and he was a great guest. He was all fired up, a lot of energy, had a lot of fun things to say. And then he had to sit through those pitches of Tim and Richie Wilson. I want to talk to Tim about his failed pitch. I want to talk to Richie Wilson about his successful pitch. I think everyone was surprised that Shittens ended up going over well with Mr. Cuban. Yeah, I think Tim was bummed out. I know he believes in his idea. He was excited about it. I wanted to pitch his other idea, which is a leash for a television remote. I'm sorry to give that away, Tim, but
You're talking about the thing like whenever you go to the shittiest hotel in the world and they have the leash on the remote control.
Gary,
like
don't let him know that. But his app to find, clean places to go to the bathroom, I know it exists, but apparently Tim's is a little bit different, but we really didn't get to learn the details because Mark Cuban shot him down pretty quickly.
He went, eh.
Yeah.
Do you think that in Tim's pitch it was necessary to tell Mark Cuban, a guy you're A, trying to get money out of, and B, a complete stranger, he could have just said, hey, sometimes you got to go to the bathroom. He didn't have to tell him that he shit all over the wall.
That's what makes Tim, Gary. He didn't have to tell him, but he wanted to, add some color to the story and get him interested, and I understand that.
Tim came to me afterwards. He's like, this app is going to kill. He's got it under control.
Yeah, get Tim down here. I want to talk to him about this app. Did you know he put $8,000 into the app already?
He told me 4, but it's going to take another 4 to get it to where he needs it to be.
Oh, okay.
So I
figured it was the other way. He said 8, which means he's probably put like 16 into it.
No, but the thing that I didn't know how to say this to Tim because even before he went in, I was getting texts like crazy or IMs like crazy that there's like 50 apps that already do this. But Tim was saying that they're not interactive, but I haven't seen them. I would think they would be.
Yeah.
In other words, if you're going to go look for a bathroom, it would seem like you just Instagram a picture of a clean bathroom.
Richie Wilson, though, has put 8,000 less into his idea, and he got the endorsement from Mark Cuban. And I saw out in the hall, you guys were buddying up. Is this gonna happen?
I put 8 minutes into this. That's all it was.
Yeah,
quick little idea, and he liked it. He was really cool about it in the hallway.
I love the idea, by the way. As a frequent user of Man Groomer or whatever you call it, it's a great idea.
Were you surprised that he went for it like that?
No, because everybody I spoke to said it's a good idea. Like I haven't heard anybody, no pun intended, take a shit on it.
So what are you going to do?
I'm trying to reach out to companies now about having it manufactured. I'm looking for, and if a company's interested, get in touch with me. And Rachel's at home right now. She's looking up manufacturing companies.
Here's your problem, though. What about all the other people out there listening who are doing the same thing?
I totally know that, but listen, it's out there. I knew that going into this, that I'm putting it out there.
Did Richie copyright it in any way by doing it on the show? Can he take this tape and document this date as...
Yeah, I mean, it serves as some type of copyright, but if I'm the manufacturer, I thought of that 2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've been working on it ever since.
But you have to have proof of that, though.
But that was exciting. I mean, look, he took you at first it was kind of goofy, but then a couple minutes in, he was taking you very seriously.
For the simple fact, he didn't tell me to get out like he told Tim.
Yeah.
And he said that, and when he said there is something there, like I almost skipped a beat, man. I was like, there's a billionaire businessman liked an idea that I pitched him, and Ronnie told me he was laughing about it and loving it all the way down the elevator. He was cracking up.
Even if you don't get a dime, at least you get that satisfaction of knowing that he endorsed your idea.
Yeah, and he told me in the hallway, he said, you really should try to get on the Shark. He said, you really should try to come on.
Oh, so get on the show.
So as soon as if he would have been here with people, I would have asked him, is there a number? How do I get in touch? But I didn't want to ask him, like, hey, give me your email address.
Are you going to change the product name if you have to get on Shark Tank? Because I don't know if they'll let you go on.
I would do a Shittens brand, because for like a guy, like a hunter, they would love to use Shittens in the woods. Like, that would be great. But I would have to change the name, somehow.
You got to change the name because the place you need to sell it
is to moms and.
I'm not talking about that. Like, you can't get into Kmart or Target or
unless you put
BJ's
like the pound sign and percentage or whatever, tens. You know what I mean?
That's actually a better idea.
Yeah,
but even some of those places won't deal with that.
That got me 3% of the company, by the way.
You're in. You're in. You have 3% of nothing.
I appreciate that. The other thing, I know other people were upset, Gary, because they wanted to pitch and didn't have the opportunity to do so.
I know. We had I think we had 5 people out here altogether. You know who was supposed to pitch and declined to pitch was Scott DePace. And what happened was basically Scott DePace told me yesterday, I no longer believe in the video caddy in a sense. He said 19 years ago, great idea. 9 years ago, great idea. He goes, things have changed. Everybody's got a camera on their phone, so I don't believe it anymore, and I'm not going to come make a fool of myself.
Wow.
Well, I also know this morning he was saying he didn't know about this segment until yesterday afternoon.
Right.
So he didn't.
Well, that's okay.
I mean, I think he wanted some preparation or to have a pitch.
For somebody who's been working on for 19 years?
I'm surprised. I mean, he's got a lot of pride. I know that, and he believed in that product for a very long time.
Technology's changed.
But for him to admit that, that's a big step. Now, do you think he did it just because he didn't want to do the pitch?
I think he did it because he's out of video caddies and it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know, Scott, if you're still selling them, let me know. But I think I remember him telling me he sold out.
I mean, the video caddy is 5 times bigger than the iPhone.
Yeah, but you could still, you got the brand name. You can make a smaller or
iPhone caddy, iCaddy.
You could do something like that. We're all geniuses here when it comes to this entrepreneurship. All right, Scott DePace, you weren't able to. I didn't know you gave up on the video caddy. That was news to me. Gary just told me that.
I sold the last video caddy 2 years ago, maybe.
How would we know? How would we know that?
I told you guys. I mean, it's quite obvious. I haven't had the website up for a year and a half. I don't know.
Because I check the video caddy website every day. No, it's funny. I mean, I just didn't know. I didn't know.
At some point, it was definitely out there. I know it's not on your radar, but you knew at some point. Trust me. I said I wasn't doing it anymore.
You're extremely entrepreneurial, though. It surprised me that you didn't pitch today.
I mean, I've got other ideas, but with Gary, it was really odd. Yesterday, Gary came into the control room and said, "Are you ready for tomorrow?"
Well, that's because Will had sent you 2 notes
what?
to 2 different email addresses, which I guess you don't check Lotus Notes.
I do check Lotus Notes. Never got that.
Here's the email. You can look at it. That's from last week with some other email address that I have no idea. You have 7 different email addresses.
PatMedia.net I have not had in 12 years.
How would I know that? And then the next one
How would you know that?
The next one
I haven't had it in 12 years.
The next one is a Lotus Note address. Scott?
I swear to God, I did not see that. I do see it here, so I'll have to go back and check. But I did not see it.
But again, when I type in your name, and this is a bigger issue, but people have all these outstanding email addresses, and how are we supposed to know what email accounts are active?
We're all Lotus Notes.
Then that's what we do. We use Lotus Notes only. That's fine.
Wait a minute. So I had an email address that changed about 6 months ago. I
didn't remember which one it was.
I let our IT guy know. I let Tracy know.
But I can't spend 25 minutes looking up trying to find your old email which says what your new email address
system.
Is. But that's not how it works.
You know what? It's a bigger issue. That's actually a Lotus Notes.
What else
issue,
can I do?
But anyway, if you had an idea to pitch, would you have pitched something if you had more time?
I have plenty of ideas, but I wasn't really prepared. I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. I didn't know whether I needed to have artwork and all this stuff ready to go. If it was just an idea, yeah, I've got ideas, but I didn't think that he was going to take anything seriously today.
But he took Rich's idea
very seriously.
Yes, he did.
That idea is horrible.
Oh my God, you're so jealous. He totally took that idea
is
serious.
horrible.
It is not.
You're not
horrible.
really going to do it. You're not going to do that stupid
Scott,
idea.
you really don't think he took that idea a tiny bit serious?
I think he was on the show and he wanted to sort of, but
then why didn't he take Tim's idea serious?
I think he did take Tim's idea seriously. He assessed Tim's idea,
right.
Said it had been done, and said goodbye. He listened to Richie's idea. He said
you've got something there.
And I don't think he was doing it to be a nice guy.
I wouldn't invest $1 in that idea. I mean, you don't have
$1 like him to give.
A wife would do. You sure I do. A wife would do just as much as a glove. How do you take the glove off? I don't know. To me,
but that's the best thing about Shark Tank is they really don't care what the idea is.
Can it make money?
If it makes money. If Richie proves that Shittens is a moneymaker, he'll invest. Why wouldn't he?
For the guy that made Post-its, he said, "I'm going to put glue on the back of a notepad," and people would have said that's stupid, and they made billions off it.
You can't just.
It's
the same type.
Why are you so frustrated by this?
I'm not. I'm frustrated trying to explain why I think Shittens is a stupid idea, and I don't think Mark took that seriously. I think he was on the air going, "Hey, yeah, that's good, yeah." But let's see you make $1 with it. And let's see him actually put $1.
I gotta say something. I'm watching you here, and I'm not trying to open up a larger issue. I promise you. I just don't think you can revel in anybody else's success that isn't
Gary,
yours.
that is not true at all. You come up with these thoughts that there's no accuracy to that. If Richie had made $1 million, that would be awesome.
But here's a point.
I'm simply saying that Mark, I don't think he was being genuine.
And I disagree with you. What you're saying is you don't like Richie's idea. That I get. But Mark seemed genuinely interested in that. Why did everybody see that but you?
I guess you guys aren't as bright as I am. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't think he would put $1 into that fucking thing.
What did you think of Tim's idea?
To find a bathroom?
It was an excellent idea.
I don't think I think I can find a bathroom quite easily without an app.
Why was Yelp so successful?
Was what?
Yelp for restaurants.
That's it. But that you're getting a review. You don't review a bathroom, how clean it was.
No, I think that's what Tim is saying, that people are taking pictures and reviewing the bathroom. Here's a clean bathroom in a 25-foot vicinity.
Well, listen, I mean, I could shit in a porta-john. My wife does want a clean fucking place, so maybe there is something to it. I don't know. I wouldn't invest in it.
Tim, were you discouraged at all? I know you've put a couple bucks into this.
No,
idea.
not at all. Not at all. It just propels, and I love challenges. And let's follow through with this thing and see where the challenge goes.
Where did you come up with this idea? It wasn't from the incident here.
Well, no, it was. I was thinking about this, and I went online and I looked at a couple of things, and I saw what they were, and I saw how the ugly meter took off. I saw how Yelp worked. I saw that there were applications on the web or on iTunes and so forth that were that identified restrooms, but this has other layers to it and other services to a potential user. So I thought, why not?
What other? I mean, I know you don't want to give away the tricks of the trade, but what other services could it possibly have?
Well, there's communication. There's a rating service on it. There's other, community type things where you can participate. There's
Wait, how do you participate in the bathroom?
Because you
tap
pictures.
your foot and you can find gay guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So but you take pictures. You upload the pictures. People, it's like a lot like what Yelp is.
Scott, what are you making faces for? You think this is a dumb idea?
No, it's not.
Of course,
it's not a dumb idea.
I don't know. I don't see.
I think it's a really short time to guys just start putting pictures of their junk on there.
That too.
And then you'll be a millionaire.
Exactly right.
And Tim, you put $8,000 into this?
No, not $8,000, but it's. I put about $4,000 into it just to check it out and understand it, and to realize what it's all about.
You should talk to me. I've got plenty of good app ideas.
How did the video caddy do?
Why did you use any of them?
Yeah,
because I'm too ballsy to invest $4,000 like he did. I mean, I'm not ballsy enough. Right. Sorry.
This is a Howard TV original production.
On this episode, Ronnie the limo driver gets an acting gig on Cougar Town. Was he a natural or just a total drag?
Hey, can a girl get $1 for a lipstick? What's your problem? Testing 1, 2. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The creator of Cougar Town got a hold of me and said, "Hey, we're thinking about giving either Ronnie or Eric the actor, a shot on the show. Who should we get?" So I forwarded it to Howard. Howard said we should bring this up on the air.
Bill, Krista, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Howard.
Krista is a actress on Cougar Town. Bill writes it. But I know Eric the actor wants another acting role.
Yes.
Bill and Krista were open to it because they're fans of the show.
Uh-huh.
But they were also kind of like, well, maybe Ronnie the limo driver would be better.
I'm up to do anything, so that's about all I could say.
Well, unlike Ronnie, I have actually been on a couple of TV shows. So, I have had screen time.
The people on Cougar Town were more into Ronnie than Eric. I got that vibe.
Bill, just give me the decision.
Ronnie's got it.
Wow.
I listen to Krista all the time, and she feels that Eric isn't grateful enough.
Thanks, guys.
Ronnie wisely took the part because they were thinking about Ronnie or Eric the actor. And Eric the actor has all kinds of stipulations about what he won't do, what he will do. And Ronnie walked in and said, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. And that's it.
They didn't have any conversation with me about the role I was going to play. I had no idea until
Or Miller. Or Lawrence. But that's all right. It's cool. At least I got a room, not standing outside.
I got an update that Ronnie was actually going to be playing a cross-dresser on Hollywood Boulevard that kind of comes in contact with the gang.
I didn't know what I was going to do until I got there. And going into wardrobe, that was a whole thing in itself.
Okay, it's real tight again.
Can't be any tighter than there.
All right, so let's try.
The lady was really nice. I felt a little uncomfortable with a lady showing me bras and corsets and girdles and shit like that.
I have a choice of like several dresses.
Oh, gee.
That's a good one because you'll be warmer too. And or we have a leather number, which is also quite nice and stretches.
Quite nice.
So I'm gonna let you get into all the stuff, and you might want to first take off your shirt, and I can help you button that.
Okay.
I think he thought that the show was playing a gag on him, that the Stern Show was playing a gag on him, that this wasn't even real.
I could, if you're gonna be, do you think you'll be cold? Do you want me to, let's put this on first and we'll see. Maybe I can give you like long underwear. All right, you hold this.
What's the big deal? I flexed a little bit.
You gotta suck it in. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
She put on this thing, this corset with where you're supposed to have tits. I don't have tits. So I had to put tits in me.
All right. Nice. Okay.
You like my boobs, man. 40 double D.
You could. What is your favorite? I'm gonna ask your
My
opinion.
favorite?
If you were to dress as a woman, what would you choose? This is gonna be warmer, but the tattoos are a really nice touch if we want to show the tattoos.
Freeze my ass off.
We have a big jacket for you, and then
you do?
just have to take your jacket off when they're filming you.
They gave me this thing that it was like a girdle. It wasn't even. What are you talking about? Well, it did have a little ass in it.
Oh, I know it'll be fun for them. Wait a minute now. This is the back, right?
Yes.
Well, there's a big difference between taking a dress off a girl and putting a dress on a guy.
I don't know how to put a fucking dress on. Is that how you put a dress on?
Yeah, I believe so.
I don't think so. I don't think this is gonna work.
I tried a couple of different dresses on.
I'm more a leather person.
That's what I was thinking. This is nice for the chest hair, though.
I liked the other one better, but of course, the producers and everybody liked the one that she picked. Fucking leopard skin or whatever the fuck it was.
I look like my mother.
It reminded me of my mother. The face, not the dress.
I'll show them what you're wearing, and then we'll get you dressed after hair and makeup.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, thanks.
Want to come on down to hair and makeup? We'll get you in the trailer there. Boy. Oh, boy. It's going to be fun.
When I went into the makeup trailer, they put a lot of makeup on me. A lot.
Touch it up with some gloss, and I think you're good.
They gave me these wigs to try on.
The director wants you blonde. And
Of course he
thought
does.
He thought shorter was funnier. So
This one's pretty good.
this one's pretty good. And then we tried to
They decided on the short head. I had decided on the long head. But, of course, anything I said, they went the opposite of. So, kind of like around here. It's already in my face.
I think this is a good look for you.
Yeah, right. You kidding me? Nobody knows who I am now. It's horrible. I was in drag, okay? And I met the people from the set. The producers, some of the stars. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to see
You too.
I think Ronnie's going to be hysterical. I think he's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
You don't need my advice.
You're right.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you later.
Hey, nice to meet you. How are you? I used to be Ronnie anyway.
A long time ago.
Well, last night I was.
It's amazing. Just 24 hours in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, right.
When I met a lot of these people, most of them, everybody, even like down to the Teamsters or whatever, they were fans of the show. So they made me feel real comfortable.
What's up, man? Hey, nice to meet you, man. Nice to meet you.
How are you, buddy?
Good, good.
Good to meet you.
Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming.
It's fun. Are we ready to go? I really need the jacket.
It's pretty cold up there. Bring it, and then we'll take it off.
It was like 50 fucking degrees and about 40-mile-an-hour winds. So I was freezing my balls off, okay? So they had this winter coat that must have belonged to fucking, I don't know what actor. But you could have put 3 of me in it. But at least it kept me warm, man. I didn't have any problem walking on the heels, man. It was cool. I had no problem at all. It was a little uncomfortable, but I did it. I did it.
He's in fine shape. Is he? I don't know if he's doing like a macrobiotic thing or what, but something's working. I think his skin is to die for.
I think it's fantastic because he is in drag, and what really makes it is the goatee. I think also his legs look really hot. But you know what? I just want to say for the record, his feet are very well pedicured. I agree. They're good. Nice feet.
I've been told I have great legs before by women. Well, I don't know about my feet, but I guess if they say my feet look good, they're chicks, so I got to take their word for it. And I would do either one of them anytime, so it's fine with me.
Today, I'd say Ronnie looks like Connie Stevens. What with the wig? Yeah.
I think Connie Stevens is adorable. I used to jerk off to her sometimes. I'd want to fuck her. So, yeah, man, if I look like her, hey, that's awesome.
If you're going into a turn up, though, what do you
I was in this whole conversation with Krista about not about my pace car only. She's totally into cars. She's into. We're talking about going to a racetrack together.
You should actually go to a school, and they do have the school there.
Yeah, they're ready. I should go to a driving school.
Yeah, I did the NASCAR school.
We were sitting next to each other, and they put this red lipstick on me. It kind of shut me up real quick.
Last looks. The instructors, what's it called?
You can just enter right here.
Yeah, they give you.
But, you know, we have to break because he's getting a little tiny. Alrighty.
You're doing like an hour class first, and then they put you out on the track.
When you start stepping in, start talking. You don't have to wait till you get there.
Okay.
Because I'll probably, when I turn around, I'll have you walk, when you're walking up, I'll have you saying
Okay.
When I did the scene with the little dog, man, it was a Chihuahua. The dog was very nervous. I was afraid the dog might pee on me, but the girl whose dog it was insisted that the dog was fine.
I have one stupid line.
What is it?
Hey, can a girl get $1 for lipstick?
You have another line, too.
Thank you, sweetie.
All right, here we go. Let's go the roll, please. Rolling.
Ronnie, after a rough night out at some club, walks into the scene with our group in drag.
Walking down Hollywood Boulevard, and Courtney Cox, Josh, the whole crew pretty much. They were on like a vacation thing. And I'm walking down the street, and I stopped to ask them for $1 to get a lipstick.
The only mark.
Hey, can a girl get a lipstick?
Yeah, say it. Come back in again. What's the line?
I was nervous, okay? I fucked up on the first one. And then I was fine after that. Kind of.
Hey, can a girl get $1 for a lipstick?
That'll be $1.
Here, why don't you take a 20? Thank you, sweetie.
Maybe we should just go see the labia torpits. What?
Nothing.
Always say it like that.
Hey, can a girl get $1 for a lipstick?
I don't think $1's gonna do it.
Here's a 20.
Oh, thank you, sweetie.
I have that dress. This place makes me sad.
Originally, when I found out about this drag queen thing, I thought that was the only thing I was going to be doing. I was a little disappointed. Next thing I know, they were putting me on the bus, tour bus, actually. I got to do that with the whole cast, and it was really cool doing it with everybody, and they were a lot of fun. And I even got to do a Baba Booey shout-out.
Welcome to Hollywood Star Tours.
You're an idiot.
Hola, amigo. ¿Qué pasa?
Please, don't even pretend you see me as a Latino man. Let's face it, Bobby, you've never once prejudged me based on my ethnicity.
My bad. I'll try harder. Our tour of the Stars homes will begin in a second, but right now our bus is blocked by that nice meth head hassling German tourists for money. Leave him alone, Carol! Nine!
This whole bus is a freak show. Are you the lady from...
No, that's my sister. Baba Booey.
So we just added some material for Ronnie. He's doing so well today that we gave him another couple lines.
The scene on the tour bus in the residential neighborhood was basically we were on tour, and they were showing celebrities' houses. And supposedly this was an O.J. Simpson house.
So, Ronnie, did you read 11? Did you happen to read it?
No.
Okay, we'll run it real quick because I need reactions from you.
Where am I sitting?
Right there in your spot.
My spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got the whole everybody.
So I'll be the guide and I'll talk you through the reactions I need from you, Ronnie. Okay. So it goes. The guide says, "Okay, to your left is where O.J. Simpson may have killed his wife, and all the white people, including you, Ronnie. You should say, oh, come on, he did it. So you can say that.
Okay.
And everyone else is,
right.
doing silently doing head nods. Okay. So I'll start again. And then after Randall says his line, you need to say.
Tried by a jury of his peers.
He's right. Good point. That's you again, Ronnie. Okay. Okay. He's right. Good point.
He's right. Good point.
Yeah. Agreeing with him.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
The only mark?
All right, and to your left, folks, is where O.J. Simpson may have killed his wife.
Good point. Oh, wrong line.
Yeah. Oh, come on, he did it. Ready?
Oh,
okay.
Come on. Oh, come on, he did it. He did it.
Tried by a jury of his peers.
Good point. Good point.
All right, good.
And if you look to your left, you'll see the house where O.J. Simpson may have killed his wife.
Oh, come on, he did it. He did it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. The man was tried by a jury of his peers.
Good point. Good point.
My performance? I would say A, not A+, maybe a B+, B+ to A. They thought I was good, but you know what? They might have said that just for the hell of it. Who knows? I could have been the fucking shit. Who knows?
Wow. Never in my wildest dreams did I think Ronnie the limo driver from the Howard Stern Show, would be so excellent. I'm here to tell you, this guy's got a career.
He was great and he was a good sport. I gotta say, all good.
I gotta be honest, he did fantastic. It was the funniest thing about the entire day. Especially with the Wyatt Earp mustache and those sunglasses, I had no idea what kind of character he was playing, but he was funny.
Well, he played a drag queen and a man today, so he's versatile. And he's fun to watch. So, yeah, I have to endorse him, unfortunately.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, what would you rate that?
Solid 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap on Ronnie Mark. Give him a big hand.
Hey, Ronnie, you got anything to say? Ronnie, you got anything to say to the cast and crew?
Thank you for everybody for having me here. It was great. Now I can take a ride out and go home.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It was
Pleasure.
fun. It was fun.
Come do it again.
Yeah. All right, man, let's get in the van and get out of here.
I would definitely go back and do it again. I would be the drag queen. I would take it in the ass if I had to. You know what I'm saying? Guys, keep that in mind. I would take it in the ass for you, as long as the pay was right.
Ronnie is not an actor. Ronnie can't act, but Ronnie is a personality, and it's fun to see him pop up in a show. And that's what I think Cougar Town is taking advantage of, and it's wise. Our audience will tune in to see Ronnie on Cougar Town. I mean, there's no secrets here. Ronnie can't act.
Hey, can a girl get a lipstick?
He's awful. He's awful in every way. And, you know, if they can turn that into something, Cougar Town's the fucking hardest working show in the world.
Ronnie fully embraces it. He's like, we're here to have fun. Unlike some shorter wheelchair-ridden actors, Ronnie's like, I'm putting on the dress and I'm going to go with it. And I think that's funny.
Oh, come on. He did it. He did it.
It was awful. What am I going to say? He's terrible. He's a driver. That's what he should stick to, driving, not acting.
Good point. Good point.
Ronnie's acting was absolutely abysmal, but that's what you want when you get Ronnie there.
We said the nicest things about him.
Oh, I'll bet.
He has done an amazing job at capitalizing on the limited skills that he has.
Be my dog.
You know, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, who is anyone to say whether someone can act or not? People said for years you won't be able to act, and I made a movie. And I could act. Maybe Ronnie is a great actor. Who knows?
Thank you, sweetie.